Chapter 1143. In front of the pavilion, many powerhouses stopped and looked at the pavilion that had stood for 10,000 years. At this moment, there was a faint light flickering outside the pavilion. The aura of an emperor. Everyone was also on guard. Heavenly King Jin chuckled and said, "Everyone, if we really dig out the spirit emperor, what should we do?" "Shut up." Everyone cursed. Jinx. If they really dug out the spirit emperor, none of them would be able to escape. They would all be in big trouble. "Who's here? Get out." Right at this moment, a dignified woman's voice resounded in everyone's ears. In the next moment, all the experts scattered like birds and beasts, tearing through the sky and fleeing. But someone did not run. The moment the others fled, Zhang Tao broke through the air and ran toward the pavilion. "Bastard! Damn it! Shameless! Shameless guy!" At this moment, all kinds of curses sounded from all directions. Everyone was shocked. Zhang Tao actually disguised himself as a woman and suddenly spoke, scaring everyone away. This shameless guy. Was he really a heavenly king? Unbelievable. This was the first time the world had been created. Even Heavenly King Jun was cursing at this moment. He was also scared just now and ran away. Didn't this little brat know that people could scare people to death? Everyone was on guard, afraid that they would really dig out the spirit emperor, but he actually pretended to be a woman to scare them. This. Heavenly King Jin felt that he had to admit defeat. He was really not as shameless as this guy. The others were also furious. How could there be such a thing? Heavenly King. Who would do such a thing? Was he really not ashamed? "King Wu, how dare you?" King Kuan was also furious. At this moment, the surrounding void was about to collapse. The others were about the same. At this juncture, they were actually fooled by this guy's words. How embarrassing. There was no other way. The prestige of an emperor was too terrifying. The birth of an emperor was enough to suppress the three realms. Back then, when the earthly sovereign's clone was born, it directly suppressed the three realms for 3,000 years. This was an emperor. Suddenly, there was a woman other than Moon Spirit and Tianhui speaking here. How could they not be afraid? But now, this guy was pretending. On the other side, Zhang Tao had already rushed to the front of the pavilion. Then, he suddenly vomited blood and flew backward, tearing through the air to escape. At this moment, the expressions of the others changed greatly, and they tore through the sky and fled once more. The next scene infuriated everyone once again. Seeing that they had flown far away, Zhang Tao didn't say a word and flew towards the pavilion once again. He's pretending. Martial King, I% and *#. At this moment, it wasn't just one or two people who were cursing. All of them were cursing. He was about to go mad with anger. This scoundrel actually tried to trick them twice in a row. The first time, they were tricked, and the second time, he pretended to be injured. Everyone was starting to believe him. There was nothing they could do. At that time, the Martial King was the closest to the pavilion. When he suddenly flew backwards, who would dare not believe it? Severely injuring a heavenly king with a single strike. If this wasn't an emperor, then what was? But now, the old-timers were going crazy. This is an insult to our intelligence. Heavenly King Jun also cursed along with the crowd. He was shocked once again. A heavenly king was injured just like that. He even thought that a sovereign had taken action. Motherf **, these little bastards are better at acting than the other. Heavenly King Jin was so angry that he cursed. This was too much. I'm already so old. How can I stand your continuous provocation? Zhang Tao didn't care about them. If there's a treasure, then there's me, Zhang Tao. If I, Zhang Tao, am here, how can I let you take away the treasure? The next moment, Zhang Tao barged into the pavilion and suddenly let out a shrill scream. "No! Bastard! You still want to trick us!" Behind him, everyone was furious. "It's already been twice. Do you want to trick us a third time? Spare me, spirit sovereign!" Zhang Tao's shrill scream sounded again. Everyone's hair stood on end when they heard it. Could it be true? This time, it was really a little confusing. His scream was so miserable. The pavilion was shrouded in the aura of a sovereign. Even they couldn't sense it clearly and didn't know what was happening inside. At this moment, another shrill scream sounded. "Don't kill!" The voice stopped abruptly. King Kuan, who was charging at the front, stopped in his tracks. "Should I go in or not?" Behind him, Li Zhu shouted coldly, "He's acting. Go in." King Kuan looked back at him. "You go in first." He was a little confused. Li Zhu acted as if he didn't see the look in his eyes. He suddenly looked at Moon Spirit and said, "Heavenly King Moon Spirit, you're a woman and the daughter of the North King. Even if it's really Spirit Sovereign, you'll be fine if you go in." Moon Spirit opened her mouth and scolded angrily, "You bastard, you're like a dog. How dare you order me around? Why don't you go in?" Li Zhu's face darkened. He shouldn't have provoked this woman. At this moment, it was quiet in the pavilion. At this time, Heavenly King Zhen's eyes were solemn. He looked at King Kuan and the others and said coldly, "Let's go in together." He really suspected that something had happened to Zhang Tao. It was too quiet. It was so quiet that it was scary. King Kuan and the others frowned. Just now, everyone was eager to go in, but now they were hesitating. Was Spirit Sovereign really inside? Was he injured or unable to leave the pavilion for some other reason? If they went in now, wouldn't they be courting death? At this moment, King Kuan suddenly shouted coldly, "Surround this place! King Wu, come out and kill him together." If he couldn't come out, then they would talk about it. Anyway, he didn't dare to go in now. The small door of the next building had closed again after Zhang Tao entered. Even though it was just a door, it was difficult for King Kuan to sense what was happening inside. And at this moment, a horrifying scene happened. Golden blood seeped out from the crack of the door. Everyone's expression changed. King Wu was killed. Heavenly King Zhen hurriedly grabbed a drop of blood, and his expression changed. His life aura has been destroyed. Behind him, Li Zhu frowned and said, "He acted. Then you and I will go in together." Heavenly King Zhen looked at him, and Li Zhu instantly shut up. No. At this time, how could he dare to enter and take the risk? Was King Wu dead or not? Was he really acting? After acting twice in a row, everyone was a little suspicious of him. It was really too terrifying. After a few screams, he stopped breathing, and then blood flowed out. This, who knew if it was real or fake? In everyone's heart, they were really afraid and angry. King Wu was a disgrace. Was he also a heavenly king? If he hadn't acted before, they definitely wouldn't have suspected him now. But thinking about how they had been tricked twice, they really suspected him. But they didn't dare to gamble with their lives. This time, it was a dilemma on both sides. For a moment, all of them were holding in their anger. This anger could not be vented. Even these heavenly kings could not take it. At the back, Heavenly Emperor Dragon transformation, and the others could be considered to have had their horizons broadened their horizons. What was this? A group of old antiques was fooled by King Wu, but they were afraid of death. None of them dared to go in to verify the authenticity. At this time, Heavenly King Zhen suddenly said, "Then let these few sages go in." With that said, Heavenly King Zhen directly tore through the air and grabbed towards Heavenly Emperor Ping Yu. This had no backing. Heavenly Emperor Ping Yu's face turned green. "Me?" Without a word, He tore through the air and fled. His energy erupted to the limit. As he fled, he roared, "Lord Kuan, save me!" He only attacked together with the three great sect protectors. Now, that King Kuan did not make a move to stop him. How could he be Heavenly King Zhenzhen's match? Enough! King Kuan shouted angrily. Pingyu was also a sage. Previously, he teamed up with the three great sect protectors to hunt down Zhang Tao. Now, if he really watched this person be killed, the three great sect protectors would be disappointed. King Kuan made a move, slapping a palm at Heavenly King Zhen. Following that, he shouted, "Seal this place! Don't let anyone enter." Heavenly King Zhen scolded, not letting people in to probe. If Spirit Sovereign is really reviving, guarding here, are you waiting for death? Everyone's expressions changed. For a moment, there was some thought of letting Heavenly Emperor Pingyu enter to probe. He was a sage after all. Even if King Wu set up an ambush inside, he would not die so easily and could run out to report. As for the other apex, Emperor Rank, if King Wu really ambushed inside, he might be killed after entering. With this, sensing the changes in these powerhouses, Heavenly Emperor Pingyu, who had already hidden in the distance, was horrified. He was a sage, even an ancient venerable emperor. His identity was also extremely noble. Could it be that these guys really wanted him to go and die? He would not do it, regardless of whether it was Spirit Sovereign or King Wu ambushing inside. It was an incomparably dangerous matter. Why not let the three great sect protectors or the two kings do it? King Kuan took a deep breath and said in a cold voice, "It can't be Spirit Sovereign inside." Back then, Spirit Sovereign should have died in battle. Heavenly King Zhen snorted coldly and said, "Stupid, is what you saw real?" The Sovereign left a wisp of life, aura, and she recovered after 8,000 years. Is it very difficult? If she was not completely obliterated back then, it is not impossible for her to recover. This time, everyone was speechless. That's right, they were not sovereigns, did not participate in the final battle, did not see the last moment. Who knew if she was dead or not? If she did not die, what if she really recovered? Everyone was hesitant, their faces filled with indignation. After breaking the array for so long, now that the array formation was broken, it was because Zhang Tao went in first. No one knew if he was really killed or acting, but it actually made everyone not dare to go in. Was there still justice in this world? Damn guy. This kind of person can actually become a heavenly king. The heavens are blind. If it's fake, he came out, join forces and kill him. Everyone was furious. Heavenly King, suppressing, ignored them and shouted coldly, "What do you all say? Should we let Pingyu go in?" Heavenly Emperor Pingyu, this sage powerhouse of the four Brahmas, was like a sheep waiting for a cow at this moment. His face was full of anger and indignation, but he also looked at the few heavenly kings with a look of desire. Don't agree. He did not want to send himself to death. The sage was very strong, but so what if he was strong? He might not die against Zhang Tao. After all, he was a veteran powerhouse. However, everyone present, even the newly promoted Heavenly King Moon Spirit, had a divine artifact in hand. If he went in, he could not sense anything now. Being ambushed by a heavenly king was much more dangerous than fighting head-on. If it was really Zhang Tao, he still had a chance to live. But if it was really Spirit Emperor, King Kuan glanced at him and said coldly, "Then why don't we let dragon transformation go? His lifespan is about to run out anyway." Dragon transformation? Heavenly King, suppressing, glanced at the incomparably old Heavenly Emperor dragon transformation and suddenly sent a voice transmission to King Kuan. "Do you want to die? The Divine Emperor might not be dead. If you kill dragon transformation now, the Divine Emperor will come back to life and kill you first." King Kuan's expression changed slightly. There were rumors in the three realms that dragon transformation, Heavenly Emperor, was related to the Beast Emperor. Back then, he walked out of the Beast Emperor palace. It was even rumored that the Beast Emperor's divine artifact that commanded all the demonic beasts in the world was stolen by dragon transformation. However, those with real status knew that the dragon transformation had little to do with the Beast Emperor. Of course, it was somewhat related. However, the main identity of the dragon transformation was not a member of the Beast Emperor Palace, but the mount of the Divine Emperor. Fong Ping was not present at the moment. Otherwise, he would have immediately associated the scene he had seen that day. An old man was preaching the Tao. A student was questioning him. A cat was stealing food. On that day, the ash cat took away the dragon transformation. Fong Ping had always felt that the student was somewhat familiar. If he were to contact him again, now, he would know that the Divine Emperor was one of the three emperors that Heavenly Emperor Zhan had acknowledged. Zhan Tiandi. That day, it was Zhan Tiandi who questioned him. Zhan Tiandi was still learning from the Divine Emperor. As for the Azure Cat, it was still young back then. It probably did not even remember Zhan, who was not considered strong at that time. It was only after the Azure Cat became an extreme Tao Heavenly Emperor that the Azure Cat knew about Zhan. Moreover, the Ash Cat had actually lost a lot of its memory. The last time Fong Ping asked it about dragonification, the cat knew nothing about it. It didn't know, but old fogies like the subduing Heavenly King knew. The dragon transformation was the mount of the Divine Emperor. No, maybe it's more appropriate to call them experimental subjects. Monsters could become emperors, but what about monster plants? The Divine Emperor had studied for many years and had always been cultivating monster plants, but he did not enter the door. The dragon transformation that came from the Beast Emperor Palace might be an experimental subject used by the Divine Emperor to study the differences between monsters and monster plants. King Kuan's expression changed for a while. Among the 9 emperors, the Divine Emperor had the highest probability of surviving. This fellow was strong, but the key was that he had many treasures and many tricks. Among the 9 emperors, he was also the first to become an emperor, the Divine Emperor. However, he had been focusing on studying those strange things in the later years, such as making monster plants become emperors. Among the 9 emperors, he was not too conspicuous. At this moment, when the subduing Heavenly King said so, King Kuan snorted, but did not mention about letting the dragon transformation enter again. This fellow's identity was more distinguished than Water God. Water God was only Emperor Nan's mount. It was said that the dragon transformation might be a descendant of the Beast Emperor. Of course, it had not been recognized by the Beast Emperor. Whether it was true or not, no one knew. However, no matter what, even if he was not afraid of the dragon transformation, there was no need to deliberately kill him. King Kuan looked at the others again and soon stopped. If he wanted to let these people enter, the subduing Heavenly King would definitely not agree. At this moment, King Kuan shouted, "Sea Guardian, King Qian, watch the subduing Heavenly King," to prevent him from joining forces with King Wu to steal the treasures. Everyone else, seal this place. We must not allow King Wu to take the treasures. Everyone snorted softly. You don't need to say that. If King Wu was really acting, everyone was prepared to beat him to death this time. So many powerhouses were fooled by a young man. They could not take this lying down. Everyone's expressions were ugly. They stared at the subduing Heavenly King as if saying, "You led the way." What have the powerhouses of the human race become now? Are they still powerhouses? Each of them was shameless to the extreme. It was simply indescribable. If this was in ancient times, the 9 emperors and 4 emperors would beat them to death. The subduing Heavenly King also cursed in his heart. What does this have to do with me? Zhang Tao was self-taught. It has nothing to do with me. Didn't you see Li Jun taught by this old man? What an honest child. The people outside were all flustered and exasperated. Inside the pavilion, in the hall on the first floor, Zhang Tao screamed a few times and let out some blood. After waiting for a while, he couldn't help but curse in his heart. A bunch of cowards. How is this even possible? The courageous will be stuffed to death, and the timid will starve to death. How are they going to snatch the treasures if they're so timid? How are they going to become stronger if they're so timid? If it were me, I would rush in first. Is there a need to be so afraid and hide outside? Zhang Tao glanced at the hall. The first floor of the pavilion was not big, probably about 100 square meters. For ancient powerhouses, such a small place was actually very small. Zhang Tao glanced around and did not look for treasures everywhere, because he directly started collecting tables, chairs, and benches. Whatever he saw, he would take. The path that he, Zhang Tao, had taken was a path that others could not take. What missing treasures? That was non-existent. Regardless of whether the treasures were dirty or not, they were all taken away. Naturally, there would be no such thing as buying the casket and returning the pearls. This place was not Emperor Ling's palace, but it was probably a place where Emperor Ling had stayed before. The tables, chairs, and benches were all good things. Old Zhang took everything he saw and took it away. Very soon, the first floor was empty. Old Zhang touched the floor lightly and sighed in his heart. The emperor was also a rich man. Wooden floor. Solid wooden floor. Not only was it solid wooden floor, he seriously suspected that this could be the wood of an impasse monster plant. The entire pavilion was made of wood. Old Zhang suspected that perhaps Emperor Ling had killed more than one impasse monster plant. Of course, it was not necessary to kill it. With the emperor's identity, it was not difficult for the monster plant to contribute part of its body. It was not like it could not grow back. I won't pry open the floor, for now. I'll take the important things first. When I leave, maybe I can take everything in one go. Old Zhang looked at the ceiling and had this thought. It was the same thought as Fong Ping when he entered the Origin Hall. Why did he have to move it bit by bit? He should move some first, then think of a way to pack it up and take it away. Zhang Tao did not delay. While those fellows outside did not dare to come in, he wanted to see if there were any other treasures. The things on the first floor were useless to him. Very soon, Zhang Tao floated up to the second floor. The second floor was also very empty, but old Zhang seemed to have found something. Very soon, he saw something from the window on the second floor. A nest? Is it a nest? Old Zhang glanced at the shiny golden thing, a little uncertain. It looked like a bird's nest, but it was very big, slightly bigger than a normal bed. It looked like it was woven from straw, but old Zhang could see that it was not. It was woven from natural treasures. Old Zhang's eyes were red. What did he see? He saw a straw that seemed to have come to life. On it, there was a small fruit. This fruit, old Zhang felt that he had seen it before. This is a golden fruit. Zhang Tao squatted down and touched the golden straw. Then he cursed in his heart. Extravagant! How was this a straw nest? This basket-like nest, the straw that was used to weave it, were actually monster plants. They were at least rank 9 and above. How many monster plants would this harm? This is so densely packed. There must be more than 1,000 straws, right? Old Zhang could even see something. This nest was very impressive. Perhaps it had a special effect. At least it had the effect of containing a mountain into a mustard seed. More than 1,000 monster plants were compressed into the shape of straw. If this nest could not be enlarged and reduced, he would be the first to believe it. And this was only the outside. The inside was also covered with a thick and soft blanket. Old Zhang reached out and grabbed it. Sure enough, as soon as he grabbed it, he could feel that the energy was shockingly rich. It was almost all compressed inside. This shack had many effects. Old Zhang did not care about these. As soon as he grabbed the blanket, a blood-red glow flashed on his palm. Self-defense. This blanket was very powerful. This, the fur of a heavenly king monster. No, could it be the Beast Emperor's? Old Zhang shuddered. The Beast Emperor was said to be a dragon. Would dragon skin be so soft? It was hard to say. Did the Spirit Emperor pluck the Beast Emperor's skin and make this nest? Whose nest was this? It could not be that the Spirit Emperor lived in it himself, right? The Ash Cat's. Old Zhang instantly came to a conclusion. This was the Ash Cat's nest. It was too extravagant. This attic might have been the Ash Cat's resting place in the past. Am I in the cat's nest? Old Zhang exhaled in his heart. He did not waste any time and was about to take the cat's nest away. Very quickly, his eyes moved slightly. It did not work. At this time, he was not surprised but happy. Old Zhang hurriedly opened the Sanjiao gate and began to collect it. As expected, the collection was successful this time. At the same time, Magic City, after the Ash Cat had eaten and drunk its fill, it began to sleep. In the cat world, seeing Old Zhang appear, holding something in his hand, as if saying something, the Ash Cat nodded lazily. It's mine. It's not my cat's nest. That's my palace. You understand? The Ash Cat was disdainful. Extravagant? This was not the cat palace. The cat palace was a divine artifact. This was just a cat's nest made by the Spirit Emperor himself. It was not even worth sleeping in it. But there's no cat's nest to sleep in now. Keep the pseudo-emperor and give it to me when you come back. I'll just have to make do with it. The Ash Cat yawned. The fish demon roasted itself again and flew into its mouth. At this moment, its cat world had changed slightly. Fong Ping had not come yet. Otherwise, he would have noticed that it was slightly bigger than before. Although it did not look too obvious, it was indeed bigger. Where did the pseudo-emperor find this cat's nest? The Ash Cat was confused. It did not even remember where it had been thrown. How did the pseudo-emperor find it? I don't care anymore. The Ash Cat could not be bothered. It continued eating and sleeping. It had finally eaten a big meal yesterday and enjoyed it to the fullest. This time, the trickster had gone into closed-door cultivation. Little Chubby Face had been sent to cultivate martial arts. It could finally have a good rest. Of course, Old Zhang did not know the Ash Cat's response. At this moment, he was quite happy. This cat's nest might not be any worse than a holy weapon. No, it might be even better. Even if it was not a divine artifact, it might have the value of a demigod artifact. This is good stuff. Old Zhang continued to look around. There seemed to be nothing else on the second floor other than the cat's nest. From the outside, the attic only had 3 floors. The treasure overflowing with the Emperor's aura should be on the 3rd floor. What is it? At this moment, Old Zhang was a little nervous. If he really dug out the Spirit Emperor's nest in the end, he would be in big trouble. Let's go up first. Old Zhang suppressed the throbbing in his heart and cautiously floated to the 3rd floor. Perhaps he could make a fortune this time. Chapter 1144. 3rd floor. You're here. The moment the female voice reached his ears, Zhang Tao almost exploded. Is there really someone? Li Gui met Li Kui. If you always walk by the river, how can you not wet your shoes? At this moment, Zhang Tao felt that retribution had come for all the bad things he had done. Just a moment ago, he was still scaring others, and now he actually met someone. Spirit Emperor. Zhang Tao regained his composure in an instant and hurriedly said, It's a misunderstanding. It's all a misunderstanding. The cat, and I are good friends, best friends. You're here." Sensing that something was amiss, Zhang Tao hurriedly raised his head. At this moment, in the three-story building, there seemed to be a place that looked like a balcony in front of him. A woman had her back to him as she looked down. "You're here," the voice was still reverberating. Zhang Tao suppressed the throbbing in his heart. Not the real body. Was this a projection? He sensed a trace of Emperor's aura. "Spirit Emperor?" The figure didn't move, nor did he reply. After a moment, a faint, sad voice rang out. "Stupid cat, don't come over. This Empress doesn't want to see you cry, even though a stupid cat like you probably won't cry." Old Zhang raised his eyebrows. Was this place left for the cat? "I think I should die." There was some sadness in his voice, but he didn't mention that he had already died. Instead, he quickly smiled and said, "Life and death are actually not important. It's just a pity that I can't feed a stupid cat like you anymore. I don't know if the others are still alive. Stop messing around. Otherwise, no one will help you beat them up. You will be beaten to death. You stupid cat, you only know how to sleep. This Empress wishes to see you one last time, but I wonder if I have managed to see you one last time." Zhang Tao raised his eyebrows. Was this left behind by the Spirit Emperor before he died? Zhang Tao did not see Tianmu. Otherwise, he would have told the Spirit Emperor that the old cat had seen her for the last time. Wail of grief. Perhaps it was also the first time in his life that he shed tears. Heaven and earth were weeping. Zhang Tao didn't see or hear that scene, so he naturally couldn't answer. "Stupid cat, listen to me. Among the 9 emperors, someone has changed. I don't know who it is, but someone has changed, and the Immortal Source Project has failed. Be careful. If someone is still alive, he might be a traitor. Extreme Tao 4 emperors. You should be careful too. They might have been deceived by a beginner martial artist. This emperor has been investigating the beginner martial artist who tried to kill you for many years. There might be some people involved. This emperor has secretly killed 2 of them, but the whereabouts of the others are unknown. Be careful. Continue walking your own path. This emperor thinks that your path is correct. Although you're lazy and stupid, you're cute enough. That's enough. This Empress likes the lazy and stupid you. Angry? What I want to see the most is your angry look, baring your fangs and brandishing your claws. Once I give you a bite, you will quickly forget everything. You are indeed a big dumb cat." Spirit Emperor's voice came intermittently. As Zhang Tao listened, he let out a sigh and was slightly distracted. He didn't expect that the Emperor of a generation, the supreme powerhouse, would leave a message for a cat at the last moment of his life. Catching up with cats and chatting seemed to be one of the few hobbies of this emperor, perhaps even his only hobby. He could feel the loneliness of Emperor Ling, the loneliness of an emperor. It was too lonely, invincible loneliness. Therefore, she especially doted on the lazy, stupid, and cute cat. But old Zhang was still a little disappointed. Was that all? Soon, old Zhang's eyebrows twitched. More than that. It seems that you, the dumb cat, have returned. Spirit Emperor's voice suddenly became clearer. She smiled and said, "If it was someone else, they probably wouldn't be able to hear this." Zhang Tao didn't quite understand what she meant. Soon, his eyes moved slightly. This Spirit Emperor's projection had other abilities. What could it distinguish? But he had come in and did nothing. "Stupid cat, listen carefully. That guy from the Cat Palace should not be dead yet. You can go find him. In the 8th heaven, find him yourself and revive him. If he is alive, you will have an easier time." Heavenly Hound, although I really want to slap that stupid dog to death, remember to tell it not to become an emperor. Even an emperor has flaws. Someone wants to gather the forces of the 3 realms and do something unacceptable. Don't get involved. But since you are in the picture, I'm afraid it will be difficult for you to avoid it. You can go to my origin star. I left something for you. Stupid cat, don't get lost. If this Emperor's source star hasn't completely shattered, then you walk the origin star. After all, I am just a spiritual force and can't help you too much. After saying this, my spiritual force will fuse into your origin to help you. Finally, stupid cat, let me touch you one more time. Her voice became sad again. The figure raised her arm slightly. It was as if she was waiting for the cat to walk over and let her touch it one last time. Zhang Tao sighed softly. Spirit Emperor left something for the cat on the origin star. What did he leave? Is Emperor Ling's source star still there? Would it be completely broken? Don't become an emperor. The emperor's path is flawed. Old Zhang raised his eyebrows again. Spirit Emperor's words made him feel something strange. A spiritual force of an emperor. Old Zhang looked at the back of Spirit Emperor and raised his eyebrows slightly. Can I take it? He felt that this figure was where the emperor's aura was. It should be referring to this, right? How do I take it? Old Zhang looked for a while. At this moment, a faint sense of danger suddenly rose in his heart. Danger? Where did it come from? In the next moment, old Zhang's expression changed slightly. Without saying anything, he quickly rushed to the balcony, lowered his head, and was gently stroked by Spirit Emperor's hand. At this time, old Zhang couldn't care less about shame. Spirit Emperor had clearly said that she had nothing to say, but now she actually spoke again. Stupid cat, you are really stupid and cute. If you don't let me touch you again, this spiritual body of mine will kill the intruder. Old Zhang almost broke out in a cold sweat. Damn, this woman was quite scheming. This ordinary people wouldn't do such a thing. Being touched on the head, how humiliating. Only he could do it. If it were King Kuan and the others, knowing that this was just a spiritual body, they would let her touch its head. Nonsense. Which of those guys didn't want face? They would probably directly take this spiritual body. Spirit Emperor had set up a 7-layered combination array, and those who could enter were, at least, at the Heavenly King realm. Since she dared to say that it was possible that this spiritual body really had the ability to kill a Heavenly King, of course, if an emperor really came, it would be useless no matter how much she set up. At this time, old Zhang thought in his heart and felt a little scared. After all, he had just advanced. If he really hesitated, he might really be killed. What a terrifying old woman. Old Zhang muttered in his heart. Listening to her conversation with the cat, he felt that this empress was quite easy to talk to. In the end, if he was not careful, he might die. At this moment, Spirit Emperor's hand was still stroking his head. Old Zhang didn't dare to leave. He suspected that if he left, this spiritual body would explode. But soon, old Zhang felt something different. At this moment, his source world gradually merged with a golden gas. Rumble! The source world gradually expanded. In reality, the phantom of Spirit Emperor became more and more illusory. Old Zhang wanted to see what this first empress of all times looked like, but his head was twisted into a fried dough twist, and he couldn't see her appearance clearly. Stupid cat, I'm leaving. Remember, some of the words before were lies. If my source star is still here, anyone who trespasses will die. Old Zhang's face turned green. You still have a trick up your sleeve. If I didn't hear this, and really went, wouldn't I be dead for sure? Source star. The cat could wander in the source world, and if he could go there, others might be able to do the same. If he really found Spirit Emperor's corpse, her source world would definitely be in the vicinity. Others couldn't go far, but if they were nearby, they could still enter. Are you afraid? Spirit Emperor suddenly laughed, her laughter clear and melodious. You stupid cat, you only know how to eat and sleep getting fatter and fatter. It's good to scare you. As she spoke, her palm gently patted Zhang Tao's head. Old Zhang's face darkened, but he couldn't bear to leave this hand. These were all benefits. He didn't know what this hand had given him, but his source world was expanding. At this moment, how could old Zhang bear to leave? Sigh. A sigh sounded. At this moment, Spirit Emperor's phantom became more and more illusory. I really have to leave, stupid cat. Don't be so stupid anymore. If there's a chance, go find that person. You know who this Empress is talking about. He might not be dead. Let him continue to feed you. With him around, you will be more comfortable than now. Stupid cat. I really can't feed you anymore. The sorrowful voice gradually dissipated, and the phantom also gradually dissipated. However, old Zhang's source world turned golden and began to expand violently. At the next moment, old Zhang's body trembled, and his expression changed. The source world had expanded to a diameter of 100 meters, and at this moment, he seemed to feel some changes. His golden body was boiling, his chi and blood were boiling, his bones were strengthening, and his mental strength was strengthening. What is this? Old Zhang had a look of surprise on his face. At this moment, he didn't stand up and continued to remain squatting. As for the Spirit Emperor touching his head, he had completely forgotten about it. What was this? It was just a pat on the head, and it wasn't a big deal. He was still young, not even 100 years old. It was nothing for an old lady who was tens of thousands of years old to pat his head. Source world. My source world is actually transforming? Old Zhang was shocked to the extreme. He really didn't know about this. Perhaps in this world, there might not be anyone who knew. In any case, old Zhang had always felt that his source world wasn't small anymore. It could fit a few bookshelves. Some people's source world was pitifully small, and he didn't even bother to expand it. Moreover, expanding it to a diameter of 100 meters was not an easy task. Interesting. This is too interesting. I seem to have discovered something extraordinary. Old Zhang had a look of shock on his face. He felt that his physical body was much stronger than before. At this moment, as the Spirit Emperor's spiritual body dissipated, the sovereign aura gradually dissipated. There seemed to be some changes to the previously flawless attic. Zhang Tao seemed to be able to hear some sounds from the outside world. Did something happen? The sovereign aura has dimmed a little. Could it be that King Wu has taken away the treasure? Be careful. It's the resurrection of the Spirit Emperor. Everyone, be careful. If it's King Wu when he comes out, we will immediately kill him, even if we can't take the treasure. Zhang Tao raised his eyebrows slightly. It seemed that this place was no longer safe after losing this spiritual body. Thinking of this, Zhang Tao reached out, and a faint golden light appeared in his hand. Sovereign aura. Old Zhang thought for a moment, and smashed his chest with his palm, smearing the faint golden light around the wound. His own aura was also suppressed to the minimum. This should be a little similar, right? Being injured by a king should be like this, right? He had to run away. After absorbing the Spirit Emperor's spiritual body, he felt that he had become a little stronger. It might not be much compared to before, but he felt that he was now stronger because of the source. This was still a little different. The harvest isn't too much, but it's very important. Old Zhang felt that he had still gained a lot. Although there were no divine artifacts or cultivation techniques, those were all external things. The source world had been expanded to a diameter of 100 meters, and that was the real benefit. He didn't think too much about it. He probably wouldn't have a chance to take this pavilion anymore. Not necessarily. After they left, these guys might not be interested in it. It would be the same if he took it. Thinking of this, Zhang Tao had a plan. In the outside world, everyone was very vigilant. The sovereign aura seemed to be dissipating. They didn't know if King Wu had taken away the treasure or if the spirit emperor was recovering and restraining his power. Everyone was a little nervous. At this moment, suddenly, a voice that was completely different from the voice that Zhang Tao had disguised before was suddenly heard. Scram! A clear shout. At this moment, King Zhenwang, King Qian, King Kuan, these powerhouses who had seen the spirit emperor and knew the spirit emperor, all changed their expressions. This time, it was the voice of the spirit emperor, the long-lost voice, the voice that made the powerhouses of the three realms fear in the past. Was it really the spirit emperor? In the next moment, a figure broke through the pavilion and flew out. His aura was chaotic, and his chest was pierced through. The sovereign aura on his body was strong. Don't leave. At this moment, a cold voice came from inside again. Go! Run! Everyone scattered again. King Kuan broke through the void and roared, Spirit Emperor, please forgive me. I didn't mean to offend you. Moon Spirit is wrong. I won't dare to do it again. These people fled one after another, and their expressions changed drastically. Even King Zhen Wang shouted at this moment, It's a misunderstanding. It's really a misunderstanding. Don't hit me, don't hit my face. No one was in the mood to pay attention to him. At this time, everyone ran faster than the other. The Spirit Emperor was actually here. This voice. Those who had never seen the Spirit Emperor would definitely not be able to imitate it. Other than Zhang Tao, there was only the Spirit Emperor inside. Zhang Tao had never seen him before. As for the aura, it was normal not to feel the aura of a sovereign. Everyone broke through the void and fled. As for the injured Zhang Tao, or the dying Zhang Tao, no one cared about him. They had to protect themselves first. Floating in the air, Zhang Tao's eyes were wide open. His chest had been pierced through, and he seemed to have died with grievances. Although he was still breathing, it was very weak. Just as everyone fled for a distance, Zhang Tao, who was like a dead man just now, suddenly stood up. Without saying a word, he broke the void with a punch, and a passage appeared. While the others were still fleeing, Zhang Tao stepped into the passage and appeared thousands of miles away in the blink of an eye. Then he roared, Humans retreat. Scatter! After saying that, Zhang Tao frantically fled into the distance, running towards the space battlefield. Silence! The whole world was silent. Today, they had been deceived by Zhang Tao many times. Humiliation. Absolute humiliation. A humiliation that could not be washed away for the rest of their lives. Being deceived once was considered an accident. Being deceived twice was considered a lesson. Being deceived 3 or 4 times. What did this mean? If Zhang Tao was not smart, then they were stupid. Zhang Tao, a bone-chilling voice came. King Kuan felt that he was really going to explode. Not only him, even King Zhenwang's face was red with shame. What did I just say? Don't hit my face. That's not what I said. Zhang Tao, with infinite anger, King Zhenwang did not say a word and chased after Zhang Tao. Seeing this scene, King Kuan roared angrily, Don't let him go! Damn it! An emperor-based supreme treasure has been taken by them. No, Emperor Chunling might have left some secrets, and Zhang Tao heard it. Zhang Tao just imitated Emperor Chunling's voice. He must have seen and heard something just now. As soon as he said that, the others chased in that direction. At the forefront, King Zhenwang turned around and shouted, Don't chase me. I'm going to kill him. Don't you dare mess around. He almost wanted to kill Zhang Tao. This bastard really doesn't care about me anymore. He ran away just like that. I'm so close to him. You ran away with the treasure, and I'm still here. These people are going to pester me to death. Bastard. Damn kid. As soon as you were born, I should have asked your parents to strangle you to death. Do you have any humanity? If I had known, I would have strangled you long ago. King Zhen Wang cursed in his heart. This was too hateful. This kid didn't even inform him and ran away. Did he believe that he was fine, or did he want him to be killed? You got the treasure, but you didn't share it with me. You even made me a scapegoat. King Zhenwang cursed again and again. He had never been such a scapegoat in his life. Behind him, King Kuan and the others released their mental power and sealed the void. He could not break through the void to escape, so he could only fly away from this place. In this way, he would be chased. Moon Spirit, Heaven's fate, do it. Moon Spirit cursed angrily, kill King Wu, or don't even think about working with me again. This was too much. She had lost a lot of face today. She was scared by King Wu several times. It was too infuriating. At this moment, Moon Spirit felt that King Wu was 100 times more hateful than King Kuan. Heaven's fate also cursed. Everyone, let's go together and kill this old thing. None of them are good people. He had had enough. This old thing always bullied him, always threatened him, and King Wu even scared him. Kill these two bastards. That's Zhang Tao's business. Why are you looking for me? King Zhenwang also cursed. He was wrongly accused. I didn't get any benefits, and now I'm being chased by you. How can I justify myself? That kid Zhang Tao, no matter how many benefits he got, he won't share a single hair with me. That's for sure. I'm the scapegoat. No one cared about him. They were all furious. How could they not find someone to vent their anger on? King Zhenwang was the most suitable. This guy was also infuriating. Previously, he had also made everyone angry. Don't chase me. Zhang Tao is really going to run away. If he runs away and digests the benefits, are you really willing? King Zhenwang suddenly turned around and ran away, no longer following Zhang Tao. If you chase me, he will run away. In the distance, Zhang Tao had already escaped for tens of thousands of miles. At this moment, he also cursed. Old Li, do you have to do this? Your strength has broken through 9. No, can't you help me? Everyone, don't chase me. Spirit Emperor said that this old guy's strength has broken through 8 and is about to become an emperor. Kill him quickly. If you don't kill him, he will become an emperor, and you will all be finished. Bastard, King Zhenwang cursed angrily. Who broke through 8? Who became an emperor? I'm at the peak of 6. I see that you are full of emperor chi. Did you get the 9 emperor seals? Did Spirit Emperor dual cultivate with you? You're about to break through 7, right? Hurry up and kill him, or he will become an emperor. Shut up. King Kuan, Sea Guardian, and King Qian roared. Enough. They had enough of these two shameful things. Sea Guardian said angrily, kill King Wu first, then kill Li Zhen later. Without saying a word, everyone chased after Zhang Tao. This time, King Zhenwang, who had turned around and ran away, was unhappy again. He cursed, Big Fish Head, are you looking down on me? No one is chasing after me. What is this? Do you really think my strength is useless? Hurry up and chase after me. Everyone's faces were livid. They had enough. They wanted to seal their 6 senses. Ever since they came to this Spirit Emperor's dojo, they had been tortured. King Zhenwang was the most annoying. After all, King Wu was not here before. Now, everyone realized that these 2 bastards were the kind that needed to be killed. If they did not kill them, they might continue to be tortured. At this moment, Li Zhu sighed as he chased after them. 3 generations. Each generation is stronger than the last. Everyone, Fong Ping is better at talking than these 2. Whoever meets him next time, just kill him. Don't give him a chance to speak. He was deeply touched. That day, when Fong Ping disguised as Feng Mieshing, he might have said it in the palace. In the end, He actually pushed the blame to him, the useless lord. He had to admit that he felt that he had lived in vain. After living for so many years, he was not as good at talking as Fang Ping. His identity was exposed, his strength was exposed, and it was all Fang Ping's fault. As soon as he said that, celestial polarity was shocked. Fang Ping is better at talking than these two? Indeed. Celestial polarity's eyes glowed fiercely. Then the next time we meet him, just kill him. Even if the others did not say anything, they remembered it. The next time they met Fang Ping, just kill him. They had enough of these people. At this moment, Fang Ping still did not know that he had provoked so many heavenly king powerhouses. If he knew, Fang Ping would cry. It was obviously those two fellows who caused it. Why did they have to kill him? Was he easy to bully? Of course. Fang Ping did not have the cat's ability. Naturally, he could not sense all this. At this moment, Fang Ping was still cultivating in the secret room. Soon, his body trembled slightly. He opened his eyes, a little surprised and a little puzzled. What was going on? Old Zhang in his own source world suddenly seemed to be on steroids, opening up the path crazily. Did he take stimulants? Under normal circumstances, even if old Zhang broke through to Heavenly King, the change in his apparition would not be big. This was because old Zhang's projection was not projected by Fang Ping after merging a certain place. Instead, it appeared at the beginning, and in fact, it was slightly different from the later ones. But why did it suddenly change this time? This is strange. Fang Ping was puzzled, murmuring, could it be that old Zhang has masochistic tendencies? After being beaten up by me every day, he has risen this time? Fang Ping, who could not understand, did not think about it anymore. Who cares? His Tao opening speed was faster. This was also a good thing. P.S. This chapter says that I'll resume with book review number 7. I'll continue to stand alone for a day tomorrow. I'll wait for everyone to provide me with ideas the day after tomorrow. Yes, that's it. Chapter 1145. Spirit Emperor Dojo was still fighting. Fang Ping was still cultivating. All the saints appeared, each guarding one side. For a time, other than the fake sky grave, there were no desperation realm powerhouses fighting in the outside world. They were all lying low. On Earth, a large number of martial artists entered the catacombs, fighting the catacombs powerhouses in the outer region. People died every day, but people were advancing every day. The war continued, not ending because of the powerhouses' departure. 6 southern regions, Dongwu Catacombs, Outer Region, Central Region, Hibiscus City. Outside the city, a large number of martial artists appeared, stationed outside and surrounding Hibiscus City. On the city wall, Huayu looked down at the revived martial artists and said softly, "The might of a human king suppresses the 3 realms. Ji Yao, do you really want to fight to the death with the magic martial army in the 6 southern regions?" Beside him, Ji Yao's expression was cold as she said calmly, "This is war." "Hua, do you really think that King Hua can avoid war by relying on King Wu?" Fang Ping said in the Forbidden Sea that Divine Continent is a mortal enemy and will not accept the surrender of Divine Continent powerhouses. As he finished speaking, he turned to look at Huayu and said coldly, "Furthermore, do you have any other path to take? Li Yi has become the Lord, and the right Divine General and the Sky Elm Guardian are supporting him. But because of King Hua's betrayal, you are being ostracized in the Sky Plant's royal court. I didn't kill you because I was worried that killing you would cause some true kings to return and rebel. But if you die here, I won't have to worry about that." Huayu was sent to supervise the war. If they won, it would be humanity's great defeat. As the supervisor, he would probably be hated to the bone by the humans. If they lost, Li Yi could even execute him according to the royal court's laws. Even if he was not executed and Hua Yu was imprisoned, no one would be able to say anything. Hua Yu smiled, a folding fan appearing in his hand. He fanned himself lightly and said unhurriedly, "At most, I'll bear the crime of failing to supervise the war. Li, you wouldn't dare to attack me, would he? Now that the right divine general is supporting him to become the Lord, the masses will not be convinced. The Sky Elm Guardian is not a member of the royal court. Although the right divine general is a true king, the royal court has other true kings. Although Duke Huai's attitude is unclear, that is a matter of the upper echelons and has nothing to do with us. We can borrow Duke Huai's strength to contend against the Li family all the same." At this point, Hua Yu said playfully, "On the other hand, the land of rebirth killed a large number of godly general powerhouses last time. King Pingshan even threatened to force you to move directly to the land of rebirth. Ji Yao, although your father is strong, it is unwise to provoke the land of rebirth now. What do you know?" Ji Yao snorted coldly. "Fang Ping wants to train his troops. Do you think he'll participate in a war between foreign true kings? No way. It was just training his troops. His goal was to allow some geniuses to rise up. No matter how intense the battle in the outer realms is, it won't shake him at all. You do understand." Hua Yu smiled. However, when he looked at the people outside the city, he still felt uncertain. This is the demonic martial army, the foundation of a sovereign personage. It would be fine in the other outer regions, but if they fought the demonic martial army here and suffered heavy losses, are you sure that a sovereign personage would not charge in? So what if we kill our way in?" Ji Yao said harshly. "Hua Yu, don't be naive. Do you think Fang Ping will be merciful to his enemies? All these years, how many land of rebirth martial artists have the four great courts killed? In these 100 years, the number of casualties has already exceeded 10 million. We are blood enemies. There is no possibility of reconciliation. King Wu might, but not Fang Ping. He is even more impulsive and tyrannical than King Wu. Sooner or later, he will charge into divine land and settle everything that happened in the past 100 years." Hua Yu was silent. He had considered this point before. King Hua and King Wu were working together, but King Wu was not here now. Fang Ping was currently the leader of humanity. Fang Ping and King Wu were different. During King Wu's era, humanity was weak. They had no choice but to form alliances and rope in some catacombs powerhouses. However, at Fang Ping's era, humanity's strength was not weak. There were many desperate realms, and the new generation was constantly rising. Would Fang Ping continue on the path of King Wu? Not necessarily. Hua Yu thought about it, but he still sighed softly. So what if we win in the outer realms? There is still a gap between our strength and that of the other parties. We have no emperor level, no saints, but look, now that all the saints have returned. Ji Yao's eyes flickered. No saints? Have you forgotten just what the origins of the four great imperial courts are? We are the orthodox earthly emperor god dynasty. Hua Yu's eyes flickered. Are you talking about the divine sect? The divine sect was of the same origin as them. Wrong. Ji Yao denied. The divine sect may not recognize us, and we don't need them to. We also have powerhouses who have returned. My father has recently contacted a few powerhouses from the Divine Dynasty era. Father has been staying in the Forbidden Sea to contact these people. Hua Yu's expression changed. The earthly emperor god dynasty was also extremely powerful during its peak. The two kings were only 2 temple masters back then, and there were still a few temple masters in the Divine Dynasty. Some had died during that period, but some were still alive. Could it be that some of the old people had returned? Ji Yao continued. This time, it is actually a chance for you and me. Huayu, the four great courts, the various dynasties, and the divine sects may merge again this time to rebuild the divine dynasty. My father has already contacted all parties and has even negotiated with the right divine general and a few other true kings. Once this is done, a new divine dynasty will be born. Merge. The power of the world was divided for a long time, and united for a long time, they would split. Back then, when the earthly emperor god dynasty was besieged, the two kings brought their defeated troops and retreated to the present catacombs. During the era of the two kings, the power was still unified, but after the war between the North and South, the catacombs were divided into many factions, the four great courts, the various dynasties, and the divine sections. Were they going to be unified again? Huayu frowned slightly. This wasn't going to be easy. Now, the four great courts, the dynasties, and the divine sects still had many true kings in the catacombs. If some people from the divine dynasty era returned, just the division of power would be a huge project. You want to be the new king? Huayu looked at Ji Yao in disbelief. You're not qualified, right? If they really unified, Ji Yao wasn't qualified. At that time, the king lord might have to be a true king. Not necessarily. Ji Yao's eyes were cold. I've already advanced to origin. Although I haven't become a king, my father is still alive. If we want to unify the divine continent, the Ji family can't do that. Compared to Lian, do you think I'm inferior? Huayu shrugged. That was hard to say. Before Li Zhu left, although he didn't reveal his heavenly king strength, the two kings didn't dare to provoke him that day. It was obvious how powerful he was. If they really had to choose someone to be the new king lord, Li An's chances were much higher than Ji Yao's. Of course, if Ji Hong stepped forward, he might become the new king lord. The two talked for a while. At that moment, in the camp below the city, a golden light flashed, and a figure floated in the air. Chun Yunshi stood with her sword and shouted, Ji Yao, the 6 southern regions is a place that we humans must attack. Get out of the way, or Hibiscus City will be bathed in blood today. Humph! Ji Yao snorted. The land of rebirth wanted to penetrate the outer regions. Previously, the 7 southern regions to the 11 southern regions were all conquered by humans. Now, the 12 southern regions and the 13 southern regions were at war. Humans wanted to conquer the entire southern regions. The 6 southern regions was MCMAU's main target. However, the 6 southern regions were adjacent to the Destiny Royal Court. The Destiny Royal Court didn't want humans to conquer the 6 southern regions, invade Mount Royal Sea, threaten the Destiny Royal Court, and directly border the Royal Court. Both sides had already fought a few times in the 6 southern regions. Chun Yunshi, who was on the other side, was only a rank 7 previously, who knew that in just a few days, under the catalysis of battle, she would advance to rank 8. It was not just her. In fact, everyone felt that their cultivation speed had increased recently. Ji Yao had also advanced to rank 9 easily. This was the general trend. As long as they dared to fight and fight, they would have more opportunities than before. With a humph, Ji Yao shouted coldly, It's your turn to retreat. Chun Yunshi, you're just a rank 8. How dare you be so presumptuous? Do you really think that Fang Ping can suppress the 3 realms? Stubborn. Chun Yunshi shouted coldly. Behind her, Guo Shengquan, who was overseeing the MCMU army, shouted, Attack. The next moment, hundreds of energy cannons were pushed out. Shoot! Rumble! A large number of energy cannons blasted toward the Hibiscus City walls. Kill! High in the sky, Chun Yunshi shouted, leading a large number of MCMU high-ranked martial artists charging toward the city walls. Ji Yao also snorted coldly. With a wave of her hand, a large number of powerhouses surged out from behind her, charging out of the city walls one after another. Both sides met in midair, and a bloody battle ensued. High-ranked powerhouses fell from the sky from time to time. Below, a large number of MCMAU middle-ranked martial artists quickly advanced forward and began to attack the city. Today, humans had already begun a frontal attack. Before this, they had already destroyed a few royal cities and were advancing along the way, preparing to directly wipe out the 6 southern regions and complete the peace of the entire southern territory. At the back of the MCMAU army, there were a few powerhouses holding the line. The former minister Wang Qinghai, looked at the battle in the sky and laughed. "Old Chen, this granddaughter of yours is bent on wiping out the 6 southern regions." She did not hesitate to fight the Destiny Royal Court so many times, specifically looking for Ji Yao. Is there another reason? Chun Yaoting's expression was unfriendly. He snorted. "Yunxi is not as dirty as you, old thing." Conquering the 6 southern regions was originally the decision of the 4 departments and 4 prefectures. MCMAU was the main attack, but the Destiny Royal Court insisted on joining in. Did they not kill them? Today, humans had begun to spare the strength to let powerhouses hold the line in the battle of the army. A large number of powerhouses had advanced, and a large number of high ranks had appeared, greatly increasing human combat strength. Unlike in the past, one powerhouse had to be used by at least 3 people. At this moment, there were still a few powerhouses holding the line in the rear. MCMU Army's commander Guo Shengquan, Lu Zhen, who was in charge of military research and development, Qin Yaoting, who came from South Capital City, and Wang Qinghai, for rank 9s were holding the line. Not only that, there were also rank 9s fighting in the sky. Guan Fu, Mei Lingfeng, Lu Polu, who had just advanced to rank 9, and Bei Gongyan, who came to MCMAU at the same time as Guo Shengquan, a total of 8 rank 9s. In the war to quell the 6 southern regions, humans had dispatched 8 rank 9 powerhouses and more than 50 high-ranked powerhouses. Not only this region, but the 12 southern regions and the 13 southern regions were also in such a great war at this moment. The scale was grand, and hundreds of high-ranked powerhouses were dispatched. 2 years ago, forget fighting on multiple fronts. Even if they were fighting all the way, they would have to be careful of other outer regions being breached. But now, humans still had spare energy to defend other outer regions. From the 7 southern regions to the 11 southern regions, there were many powerhouses holding the fort. They had broken through the barriers between the 5 regions, preparing to merge the 5 regions into one big region. Wang Qinghai smiled, then lamented, "Humans are getting stronger and stronger. There are more and more new rank 9s. Old people like us are much weaker than the young people." After hanging around with the minister for so many years, most of the time, I have to say, that fellow Fang Ping is really something. If Minister Zhang heard what you said, he will teach you a lesson. I'm speaking the truth. Wang Qinghai chuckled. Even if the minister comes himself, he has to accept his fate. He is strong. He has become a heavenly king. But he is strong, and only he is strong. Look at how many powerhouses he has produced after serving as the minister for 30 years. Look at now. Although he said that, Wang Qinghai still added, "Of course, without the minister's 30 years of hard work, we wouldn't have such a strong foundation now. But I still feel that life is much better now. Don't be too proud." Chun Yaoting was not as confident as he was. He said in a low voice, "Powerhouses from all sides have appeared. Some old antiques have revived. It is not time for the humans to turn the tables. Now, the humans only have one saint, and he is an outsider. To forge iron, one must be strong. People like us have to advance as soon as possible. If we don't reach the peak, we won't be able to play a big role in the war. That's true. Wang Qinghai responded. He looked at the sky and saw that Chen Yunxi was suppressed. He smiled. Aren't you going to help? No need. Ji Yao has only just entered rank 9. Her origin has not increased, and her control of her strength is not high either. If Yunxi and Tang Feng work together, they may not lose. When a war breaks out in the Outland, the goal now is not resources, not to kill the enemy. Do you know what Fang Ping's purpose of starting a war like this is? Wang Qinghai nodded. Of course, he knew. Training troops, searching for lost pearls in the sea. It was also to let the humans who had erupted find a suitable place to vent, a suitable place to practice their own strength. Humans were doing it, and the catacombs were doing it too. Humans and the catacombs were the two forces with the largest population base. Both sides had a tacit understanding that training troops in the Outland was to produce more powerhouses. Since Chun Yaoding said that he did not need help, Wang Qinghai did not say much. After thinking for a while, he said telepathically, Old Chen, previously Fang Ping, said that he was about to become an emperor. Do you think it's true or just to scare people? It's hard to say. Wang Qinghai was still a little worried. I'm just afraid that someone will take it seriously and secretly attack him in order to stop him. Is Fang Ping too ostentatious? Even if he can really advance to emperor, he should keep it to himself and make a fortune. Why must he say it out loud? Heavenly Wood is here, so it should be fine. The cat is also here. I know. Wang Qinghai was still not very assured. He sighed. But if someone really has the intention, they might not be afraid of Heavenly Wood and the rest. Maybe they'll be prepared. Don't forget, there are still many entrances to Outland that have not been found. If someone sneaks into Earth and attacks Fang Ping, if something happens to Fang Ping, then all the achievements today will be in vain. For humans to be able to fight like this in the Outlands and conquer many Outlands in succession, Fang Ping should take credit. If not for the fact that he had killed a large number of real gods and destroyed the lands of the 3 great regions, the lands of these regions alone would have been a hindrance. At this time, Qin Yaoding also frowned slightly. Fang Ping was indeed a little ostentatious. When he returned, he should not have said that he was about to become an emperor. Now, he disappeared into closed-door cultivation. If someone really thought that he was in closed-door cultivation to break through to emperor, someone might not be able to control themselves and attack him. The situation in the 3 realms is getting more and more turbulent. Qin Yaoding sighed. In the catacombs, facing the crisis, the 4 majestic courts had already shown signs of uniting. Other forces had saints appearing one after another. In the human side, Heavenly Wood and the rest were, after all, outsiders. The real king of the humans, Fang Ping, had not yet reached the level of emperor. Worry. Everyone had it. However, worrying was useless. At Fang Ping's level, it was no longer something they could intervene in. The war in the 6 southern regions was still going on. In the catacombs, there was also a lot of movement. Jihong, Prengyu, Longqi, Furchuan, the whereabouts of these powerhouses were uncertain. Some people even saw a few powerhouses having a secret meeting. Even someone like King Huai went to contact them. This included King Pingshan, although he had threatened Jihong for a while. At this moment, there were still people appearing near the Pingshan region. Rebuild the Earth Emperor God Dynasty, or rather, the Demon Emperor God Dynasty. This kind of news also gradually spread among some catacombs powerhouses. This time, there were not many people who reacted strongly. On the contrary, many people could not wait to see a situation of great unification. Now, in the face of the humans pressing step by step, the powerhouses of the various majestic courts all felt threatened and pressured. They also eagerly hoped that the forces of God Continent would increase greatly. God Continent, which used to be the strongest in the three realms, now seemed to have become an existence that anyone could bully. This made many people dissatisfied and unwilling. If they could really unite the forces of God Continent would still be a hegemon. The catacombs were connecting. At the same time, there were still people connecting. In a void rift, in the boundless darkness, no one could be seen, only sounds could be heard. Fong Ping is in closed-door cultivation. I'm afraid he's looking for an opportunity to break through. He has already broken through 4 ranks. Although he is still some distance away from the Emperor rank, it does not mean that he has no hope of breaking through. This person is advancing too fast, even faster than unquestionable Jian back then. That's right. Not only unquestionable Jian, even the chaotic heavenly king from the chaotic era did not cultivate as fast as him. Even the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors were not as monstrous as him when they were young. There were many voices. It was not just one person. There were 5 to 6 people speaking, and there were still people lurking in the dark. At this moment, a figure flashed in the darkness. The heavens honored the saint. This saint did not conceal himself. He directly revealed his true face and said in a low voice, "This saint has done some research on this Fong Ping in the past 2 days. He is vengeful, arrogant, has extraordinary talent, and is suspected to be the reincarnation of one of the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors. No matter who he is very dangerous." This saint knows that several venerable emperors have fallen in his hands, and there are even more than 10 true gods. This person is even more terrifying than King Wu. This saint has never seen King Wu, but according to my understanding, King Wu's intention to defend is greater than his desire to attack. As for Fong Ping, he has only cultivated for a mere 3 years. He almost kills a true god every month. Such a cruel and bloodthirsty person. His strength has not reached this level before. Once this person becomes an emperor, the saint paused, took a deep breath, and said, "Even saints are in danger. This person is extremely terrifying, and he is also quite hostile towards us." Some people said that Fong Ping once said that ancient martial artists, killing all of them would not be unjust. Fong Ping had also only said this in front of a few people. Needless to say, it was either Taoist Fengyan or Dixing who leaked this to the outside world. Fong Ping had said this in front of them before. As soon as this was said, someone questioned, "Is this true or false?" "How can it be false?" The saint said coldly, "The destruction of the 3 major grotto heavens, the annihilation of the heavenly court, the annihilation of the overseas immortal islands, and the annihilation of the major immortal islands are all related to Fong Ping. Previously, he even annihilated Chong Rong Tian and true god Pingyu. I'm afraid he also wants to cut the weeds and eliminate the roots." In terms of ruthlessness, although Fong Ping has not cultivated for long, even I have to say that he is ruthless and ruthless enough. Fong Ping is indeed repulsed by ancient martial arts. He even loathes it. Someone interrupted at this time, but Fong Ping is currently holed up in the human world. Heavenly Wood and Tsang Mao are both in the human world. The saint, this time you secretly gathered us. Could it be that you want to take this opportunity to kill Fong Ping? Everyone, the human race's garrison Heavenly King and Martial King, both have the strength of a Heavenly King. Once they return, can they still kill Fong Ping? The saint said in a low voice, "He has reached Emperor. Is there a huge gap between Emperor and saints? With his freakishness, how long will it take for him to become an Emperor? Will becoming a saint be far away? Once he becomes a saint, will we still have the chance to kill him?" Everyone was silent. Fong Ping was indeed too freakishly talented. He had only cultivated martial arts for 3 years. In 3 years, he would become an emperor. When they heard this, they all thought it was a fantasy story. However, if Fang Ping really became an emperor, then it would not be a fantasy story anymore. At this time, Tian Gui said again, "I know what everyone is thinking. You all think that I have been humiliated before, and this time I am here for revenge. That's right, I have this thought." But Tian Gui looked around and said word by word, "But this old man is not only here for revenge. Instead, I am afraid." Everywhere was silent. Afraid? A saint actually said that he was afraid. This was an ancient saint, the saints of the ancient times. Even in the ancient times, the 36 saints were also important figures, generals of the heavenly court. This was not something that the two kings could compare to. This old man is afraid of dying again, afraid of being killed again. Tian Gui said calmly, "Previously, this old man acted rashly and regretted it afterward. I should not have formed a grudge with Fang Ping at that time. After understanding everything about this person, this old man knew that if he gained power, this old man would definitely die. So I am afraid. If he does not die, I will not be at ease. Everyone who can guarantee that they will not offend Fang Ping, that they will not attack humans, you must know that Fang Ping once said that if a human dies, even if it is an ant-like mortal, he will make the other party pay with his life. Everyone, ask yourselves, can you do it without killing any mortals? If you can't, then you are an enemy." As soon as this was said, the void was silent again. After a long time, someone said, "I wonder what Saint Tian Gui has planned. Find him and kill him before he becomes an emperor. Strike like lightning. Let him die without a burial place. If this person does not die, no one will be at ease. But Heavenly Wood, it's okay. Someone will suppress Heavenly Wood and Song Mao. Other than these two, there are only Fang Ping, Snake King, and Jiao who have just achieved Dao. Jiao is a demon after all, a descendant of the Celestial Emperor. Will it risk its life for humans? Even if it does, don't worry." After killing Fang Ping, Heavenly Wood will leave, Song Mao will leave, Jiao will leave, and so will the descendant of Water Force, Wu Jili. When that time comes, there will be no future trouble. After hearing what he said, someone else asked, and Tian Gui answered them one by one. Soon, someone said, "Then arrange for all the pawns in the human world to find out where Fang Ping is. Find Fang Ping and kill him in one blow." Tian Gui smiled. Previously, it was difficult for all parties to unite. Now that these saints had revived with their strength and prestige, the difficulty of uniting all parties was greatly reduced. Fang Ping could only blame himself for being too domineering. When King Wu was young, although he was domineering, he still pretended to be low-key and did not reveal too much of his evilness. But Fang Ping, in a mere 3 years, he wanted to achieve Emperor Dao, who would not be afraid. Chapter 1146. Earth. Not many people knew where Fang Ping was cultivating in seclusion. It wasn't like no one knew. At least Wu Quishan knew. If something went wrong at the crucial moment, he could at least contact Fang Ping. Capital City. Wu Quishan wore a solemn expression. At this moment, experts from the 4 factions and 4 prefectures had gathered. After a long time, Li Daong said in a deep voice, "Old Wu, are you really not going to inform Minister Fang? Now that the catacombs wanted to unite, once they were truly unified, then there would be big trouble. It's hard for us to do anything, but if Minister Fang were to step in, maybe we could do something." Wu Quishan shook his head and said, "I don't know where he is. Even if I know, he's in seclusion right now. We can't let him come out now." Fang Ping was now the core of the human race. Both Heavenly Wood and Song Mao came, because of him. Everyone, don't push everything to Fang Ping. Otherwise, if something happens to him, the great situation we have now will be ruined in an instant. Everyone sighed. That was true. Wu Quishan thought about it and said, "How is Senior Su Yunfei from the Su clan? Was there any hope of attaining the Tao? Also, in the other 5 sacred grounds, is there any possibility of anyone reaching Tao validation?" Over at the Department of Investigation, Zhong Qinghuan said, "Breaking through to the apex is still a little difficult. At present, all the major holy lands had peak rank, 9 martial artists in seclusion. At critical moments, they might take the risk and enter the catacombs to fight and prove their Tao. As for Senior Su Yunfei, he has recently entered the catacombs, and his whereabouts are uncertain. I'm afraid it's also for the last step." Wu Quishan exhaled and looked at them, especially Li Daong. He could not help but say, "You've been a rank 9 for many years. Don't you have any hope? Also, Minister Tian, you absorbed the Pine Monarch Avenue earlier, so why didn't you have any reaction?" Tianmu rolled his eyes. "It had only been a few days. Do you think everyone is like Fang Ping? You became an absolute pinnacle yourself, and now you're so arrogant. Why don't you think about how long it took you to become an absolute pinnacle after absorbing the mystic jade, true king, great Tao?" Wu Quishan ignored him and said with a sigh, "The human race looks powerful, but it's still not enough. There were too few newly ascended paragons. There is some hope, but it's only hope without enough extermination bugs. Even if we have an advantage in the war against the outer realm, it won't be enough." Everyone was silent. After a while, Zhong Qinghuan broke the silence and said once again, "Minister Wu, although we are relatively young, our rate of improvement is far slower than some of the new generation martial artists. I feel that perhaps we should place our hopes on some of the new generation of experts. We can consider supporting them with more resources." CCMAU's Han Su was already close to rank 8. MCMAU's Zhang Yu and Xie Lei were also hopeful for rank 8. Over at Startown, Jiang Hao, Jiang Chao, Su Zissou, and the others had also made rapid progress. As for the 5 great holy lands, those who had participated in the youth tournament with Minister Fang had also improved very quickly. I see them advancing one by one, and it seems like they don't even have a bottleneck. In addition, Yang City's General Zhang Peng, West Mountain Commander Du Hong, West Mountain General Li Yiming, these people had also advanced to rank 8, and rank 9 was imminent. Minister Wu, do you think you can give them some support? Wu Quishan chuckled. Rank 8 already? He knew Du Hong. He was the captain who had participated in the youth tournament with Fang Ping. He was from the military department. Li Yiming, Li Zhen's grandson. Zhang Peng, Zhang Tao's grandson. At this moment, the descendants of these powerhouses had begun to show their talents, exploding with dazzling brilliance everywhere. Jiang Hao is almost rank 9. Zhong Qinghuan laughed. He went to the House of Guardians and became the deputy mayor. Minister Fang even said that he should go to Magic City to report on his work. In the end, it was delayed until now. Until now, the appointment has not been officially approved. The next time Minister Fang comes out of closed-door cultivation, Minister Wu must remind him. All right, I'll remember. Having said that, Wu Quishan added, there are many high-ranked martial artists now, but some of them, such as Zhang Shui and Zhang En, are still very immature. For now, don't assign them missions that are too dangerous. As for those people you mentioned, it's not a problem to give them some appropriate resources. Also, Sun City's General Zhang Peng. I heard that he has improved very quickly recently. Previously, Fang Ping said that he had set up the origin formation in Sun City. He had broken through to rank 9, and that he would immediately replace him as General of Sun City. Having said that, Wu Quishan thought for a while and said, also, MCMU's vice-chancellor should be appointed. Fang Ping is occupying the position and not leaving. This is not appropriate. As soon as he said that, Tianmu laughed. You want to remove him from the position? Wu Quishan, if you remove him from the vice-chancellor position now, when he comes out of closed-door cultivation, I guarantee that he will beat you up. Wu Quishan's expression darkened. It was true. Was it appropriate to occupy the latrine without taking a shit? Moreover, he realized that MCMAU was actually somewhat similar to Sun City. Sun City's General Zhang Peng had been promoted very quickly, probably because he was Sun City's general. As for MCMAU's vice-chancellor, he was the previous vice-chancellor, but in the end, he was removed. As for the vice-chancellor, Fang Ping was the executive. In fact, he was in charge. However, whether Fang Ping was promoted or not, Wu Quishan did not care. Ignoring Tianmu, Wu Quishan pondered for a moment and said, everyone tell me who is more suitable to be MCMU's vice-chancellor. Right now, I'm afraid that MCMU's vice-chancellor needs to have rank 9 ability. There are already many rank 9s in the university. Guo Shengquan and Lu Polu are actually more suitable, but they are a little older after all. Maybe it's more suitable to let a younger person go. Younger person? Everyone looked at each other. After a while, Li Daong said, there are actually not many rank 9s who are too young. You also know Wang Jinyang and the others. They have their own things to do. I'm afraid they won't take over the vice-chancellor's position. What do you think of Tang Feng? Tang Feng? Wu Quishan said in surprise. Him? Li Daong laughed. What about him? Tang Feng is young, not even 50 years old. It's the time for him to advance by leaps and bounds. After the last battle, Mad Lion's name also shook the catacombs. I think there's hope for him to advance to rank 9 in a short period of time. Then give him a younger assistant. MCMAU has always been brave enough to take the lead. This time, let's be more daring and let CLA and Zhang Yu be vice-chancellors together. What do you think? You're really daring. Wu Quishan did not know whether to laugh or cry. Zhang Yu just graduated a year ago. CLA just graduated this year. Think of Fang Ping. Li Daong laughed. Back then, if it wasn't for all of you who were brave enough to take the lead and let Fang Ping lead the school affairs, Fang Ping might not have been able to advance so quickly. These young people are getting more and more terrifying now. Their advancement speed is fast, and their combat strength is not weak either. When they fight, they're even more ruthless than us. As he said that, he said with some regret, it's a pity for Qin Fengqing. I heard that he can already kill a peak rank 9. If he was still in MCMAU, even if he couldn't take the main position, he could still be a deputy. Speaking of Qin Fengqing, many people sighed. This person was already famous when he was a rank 3. Many people knew that MCMAU had a catacombs madman. Others went there a few times a year, but he went there a few times a day. In the end, he had disappeared from the human world. Instead, he ran to the catacombs and never came back. Wu Quishan frowned slightly. Fang Ping is following him personally. It's not good for us to interfere. But if you want Tang Feng to be vice-chancellor, it's not impossible. As for old Lu and vice-chancellor Guo, I'll talk to them. Tang Feng is young and seems reckless. He's still relatively more stable. At this stage, MCMU might be better off being stable. As for Zhang Yu and CLA, we'll see. It's not a big problem. With just a few words, the crowd was able to confirm this. This also meant that the younger generation had officially begun to take control of the human race. The 4 departments and 4 prefectures were now taking in young powerhouses. Although most of them were deputy positions, It would not be long before someone would officially take over a department or a prefecture and become one of the leaders of the human race. Then, let's disperse. After Wu Quishan finished speaking, he was about to announce the end of the meeting. At this time, Xie Yifan, who had been quiet all this while, suddenly said, "Minister Wu, I have something to talk to you about." Wu Quishan glanced at her, nodded slightly, and did not say much. Xie Yifan was also a veteran rank 9. Previously, other than old Zhang, she was the only rank 9 deputy minister in the department. Bei Gongbing was the commander of the Wuan army. Speaking of which, Xie Yifan's identity was a little complicated. Old Zhang seemed to be interested in her. As for whether it was gossip or not, old Wu did not care about this. Many of the older generation powerhouses, because of the threat of the catacombs, even if they liked each other, they might not speak up. There was no need to stay sad today without knowing what would happen tomorrow. Old Zhang's wife had passed away many years ago. She had also died in battle in the catacombs. She was a very ordinary woman. She was not as outstanding as Xie Yifan, nor was she as powerful. However, after that, Zhang Tao did not marry again, nor did he mention these matters of love. Xie Yifan had always been single. Old Wu thought that perhaps both parties were still interested. In fact, he did not find it strange at all. Zhang Tao's personal charm was very strong. Xie Yifan had worked together with him for many years. It would be strange if she did not have feelings for him. Soon, the others left. In the office, only Wu Quishan and Xie Yifan were left. Xie Yifan was silent for a moment, then said, "Minister, can you contact Minister Fang? Is there anything?" Xie Yifan was silent for a moment again. Suddenly, she said, "Previously, before Minister Zhang left, we went on a tour around the 3 realms. Wu Quishan was amused. You admit it this time? Didn't you say you didn't?" Xie Yifan was speechless. She explained, "It's not what you think. Minister Zhang took me away. Not. Forget it. I can't explain it to you. How would people like you know what the minister is thinking?" Wu Quishan could not help but laugh. Was she looking down on him? Initially, according to the minister, there are some things that can only be hidden in the heart and not told to some people. Xie Yifan pondered for a moment, then said, "But now, I still have to say it." Xie Yifan said again, "Minister Wu, invite Commander Li Daong here too." Wu Quishan was a little curious. After some thought, he sent a voice transmission. Soon, Li Daong pushed the door and entered. Seeing that the two of them were there, Xie Yifan said, "It's like this." Before Minister Zhang left, he actually left some instructions, including some arrangements. All these years, in the catacombs, the bounded boundaries, the forbidden sea, actually, there are some arrangements. Just last night, I received intelligence that Tiangui Sage appeared and gathered some people to plot against Minister Fang. Wu Quishan was stunned. He said, "Who told you that? Is the intelligence accurate?" Li Daong was also very nervous. Was this intelligence accurate? "Yes," Xie Yifan said in a low voice. "This intelligence was not sent by one person but 2 powerhouses. Who sent it? To be able to find out this intelligence. I'm afraid it's not a weakling." Wu Quishan still asked. He did not dare to believe it easily, nor did he dare not believe it. He was also afraid that it was a trap. Xie Yifan was silent for a while again. After a while, she still said, "One is King Huai." King Huai and Minister have always had some cooperation. Of course, it's purely a cooperation based on interests. I dare not take the intelligence he sent seriously. After all, Minister has already left Earth. He has no reason to send me intelligence now. Maybe he has other ideas. But I believe what the other one said is true. Someone really wants to plot against Minister Fang. Wu Quishan frowned. They want to find out where Fong Ping is through you? Minister Xie, if you don't explain clearly, I dare not help you pass this information, and I won't delay Fong Ping's closed-door cultivation because of this. Fong Ping has concealed his aura. When he's in closed-door cultivation, almost no one can find him. He was worried that there was a conspiracy. Once he informed Fong Ping, he might be targeted and found out where Fong Ping was. Although he did not need to go personally to inform Fong Ping, mentality fluctuations and phone calls could all reveal Fong Ping's location. Xie Yifan was silent for a while, then exhaled. It should be true. The person who informed me of this information has a special identity. Before Minister Zhang left, he said that this person would not contact me unless it was something serious. Once he contacted me, something big must have happened. Old Wu was still looking at her. Xie Yifan frowned and said helplessly, Hua Qidao. Both of them were stunned. Who? Hua Qidao. What a joke. Hua Qidao was now also a peak rank 9 powerhouse, deeply trusted by Li Zhu and the Right God General. Now he was also an overlord in the Heavenly Plants royal court, leading the entire Heavenly Plants army. He passed the information? The information passed by Hua Qidao. It's him. Xie Yifan sighed. Not many people care about Hua Qidao, but he is indeed one of the highest authorities in the Heavenly Plants royal court. If something happens to the Right God General and Tianyu, they will not hide it from him. Both of you know a few decades ago, something happened. One of the minister's sons died in battle. Both of them frowned. It's Hua Qidao. Xie Yifan smiled bitterly. Hua Qidao was actually fake. Back then, the minister obtained a cultivation method from a historical site. By refining him, he could use him to hide his true identity. That was why that time, when the minister's son faked his death to escape, the minister personally captured the weak Hua Qidao and refined him. More than 10 years ago, the left marshal of the Heavenly Plants royal court was killed. That was because Hua Qidao's identity was about to be exposed. As a last resort, the minister asked Commander Li to set up a trap and kill the left marshal. It was originally just a spy. The minister did not even prepare to activate it. Wu Quishan was stunned. Who was Hua Qidao? Old Zhang's son? Old Zhang's infernal affairs was unbelievable. To think that old Zhang swore that Hua Qidao was Li Zhu's son, and Fong Ping also called him Li Qidao a few times. However, this was also extremely dangerous. Old Zhang was really ruthless. Wu Quishan was still not familiar. Li Daong frowned slightly. Who was Hua Qidao? Old Zhang's son was also a dragon among men. When he heard that he died in the catacombs, he could not believe it. He was a hero. The rank 8 armor that old Zhang gave Fong Ping was broken and repaired. It was actually worn by old Zhang's son back then. The other party did not die. He was even sent to the catacombs. If this was true, that person had sacrificed a lot. Are you sure? It's true. Xie Yifan smiled bitterly. When the minister said it, I actually did not believe it either. No, Wu Quishan could not help but say, I didn't say that. Old Zhang is very cunning. Although it's hard to believe that he would do something like this, it's more or less possible. The key is, why did he only tell you? Old Wu glanced at her and raised his eyebrows. Is it true that even heroes have a weakness for the charms of a beautiful woman? Xie Yifan was helpless. She rolled her eyes at him and said exasperatedly, because I've worked with the minister for 30 years. He's observed me for 30 years, so he knows what kind of person I am. Besides, my strength is not outstanding, and it's not obvious either. You people have outstanding strength, and you're too obvious. If someone comes into contact with you, you'll be easily discovered. Of course, it's not just empty words. As he said that, a jade slip appeared in his hand. This was left behind by the minister. He asked me to pass it to Fong Ping at the critical moment. If anyone else activates it, it will break quickly. If I pass it to Fong Ping, he'll know if it's true or not. Old Zhang doesn't trust us. How sad. Wu Quishan joked. Then he said with some emotion, I'll pass it to Fong Ping as soon as possible and pass on the information. But I still have to investigate this carefully. If it's not the enemy's scheme, then it'll be troublesome. Minister Xie, please wait here for a few days. Don't leave this place. All right. Xie Yifan agreed readily. Wu Quishan did not say much, but he signaled Li Daong to keep watch here. Soon, Wu Quishan went out. He did not go anywhere else. He flew straight to Magic City. Just as he flew away, a rift flashed in the void. He went to find Fong Ping? Not necessarily. Keep an eye on him. Heavenly Wood is in Magic City. Be careful. It's okay. For Saint tokens are sealed. If we're further away from Heavenly Wood, it'll be hard for it to detect us. Where's the cat? The cat is a little troublesome, but it's okay. Restrain your aura. The Saint tokens are made by the Emperor. Don't think about it. It might not be able to detect us. Okay, Magic City. When Wu Quishan arrived, he did not look for Heavenly Wood. Instead, he went straight to the Fong family. Soon, he saw the cat sleeping soundly on the rooftop. Cat, there's food. The cat opened its eyes instantly. When it saw Wu Quishan, it sniffed him and suddenly bared its fangs and claws. It wanted to stab this guy to death. Liar! Wu Quishan coughed dryly. I have a favor to ask of you. It's very important. Having said that, he told the cat about what had happened earlier. He took out the jade piece again and said, I'm worried that someone is plotting against Fong Ping. I don't know if this thing really belongs to the minister. If it's an enemy trap, it's okay if we die in battle. If Fong Ping is attacked and killed at this time, then it'll be a big problem. You're smart. The cat muttered. It took the jade piece and muttered, This seems to belong to the pseudo-emperor, but there seems to be something on you. The cat looked at him for a while, scratched its head with its claws, and said, It seems to have the smell of a powerhouse. I don't know if it's true. It's so blurry. Wu Quishan's expression changed slightly. The liar seems to be in trouble. The cat became serious now. It did not sense anything. That big log did not sense anything either. This time, it might be really troublesome. Was someone going to make a move on the liar? The cat did not find it strange. The liar was so flamboyant, even more arrogant than the big dog back then. It would be strange if no one killed him. The cat's big eyes flickered. You stay here. Let Chubby Face go to the catacombs. What? You're too obvious. You're too obvious. If you walk around, something bad will happen. The cat seemed to have become smarter now. It muttered, Chubby Face is only rank 6, and she's the liar's sister. She suddenly went to the catacombs. Those who don't care won't care, but those who do will definitely guess that she went to look for the liar. I have to let Chubby Face disguise herself. I'm good at setting traps. But Wu Quishan frowned. What if something happened to Fong Yuan? It's fine. The cat muttered. If the liar is not dead, others won't kill Chubby Face. Otherwise, they'll be exposed. Let Chubby Face go to the Magic City catacombs, or else a war might break out in the human world. Lure everyone to the Magic City catacombs. There's no one there anyway. Magic City catacombs? Wu Quishan pondered for a moment. Cat, Fong Ping is in closed-door cultivation now. I think it's best not to break out in a war. Do you have any way to make those people retreat? The cat rolled its eyes. How was that possible? If they wanted to make a move at this time, they must have thought it through. They could not be scared away. The cat had a headache too. What should it do? It did not fight. If it fought, it might not be able to win. they could hide from it, and Heavenly would. Maybe they were also saints, and there was more than one. He did not want to think about these troublesome things anymore. He would let the liar think about it himself. At the thought of this, the cat said impatiently, "Go and play somewhere else. I'm going to sleep. That's all." Wu Quishan was helpless. This cat was not cute at all. "Why don't you tell me? I'm very anxious now." Let Chubby Face go to the catacombs as soon as possible. Otherwise, they might think that the liar is in Magic City. Maybe they'll attack directly. There are tens of millions of people. If they're all killed, the liar will definitely be angry. As soon as he said that, Wu Quishan's expression changed slightly. He had not thought it through. If they came directly to Magic City, it would be very easy to get into trouble. Looking at the cat again, Wu Quishan suddenly felt a little dazed. Was this cat usually too lazy to think, or was it pretending to be stupid? When it was smart, it was much smarter than him. The cat could not be bothered with him. "You're the stupid cat. I'm very smart, okay? If I'm not smart, can I catch a big fish? If I'm not smart, can I let the big dog take the blame every day? If I'm not smart, can Spirit Emperor feed me every day? I'm the smartest cat in the 3 realms." The cat was still in the midst of his narcissism. Not long after, a figure flashed outside the Fong family's house, suddenly appearing out of thin air. Fong Yuan disguised herself. Big Cat sent her out directly. Go to the catacombs. Save Big Brother. Stall for time. Walk to Quokang Mountain. Thinking of Big Cat's words, Fong Yuan was a little excited, but also a little scared and anxious. "Can I do it? I've never acted before." But Big Cat said, "I can." "Acting. Yes, acting is enough. Don't be afraid. Fong Yuan, you're the best. If Big Brother is in danger, I'll save you." Fong Yuan secretly cheered herself on. "It's just a trip to the catacombs. What's the big deal? My brother has already conquered the Magic City catacombs. There's no danger." The next moment, Fong Yuan went straight to the Magic City catacombs. At the same time, 1,000 miles away, in the void, someone said mildly, "Fong Ping's sister, Fong Yuan, has disguised herself and entered the outskirts of Magic City. Is the information accurate?" "Accurate. It's from the spy. The Fong family has always been the main target. There's no mistake." "Fong Ping is in the outskirts." "Not necessarily. It's hard to say. But I heard that Fong Ping dotes on his sister very much. He probably won't use his sister as a chess piece. I'm afraid Wu Quishan doesn't have the guts to use his sister as a chess piece. If he's really in the outskirts, that's the best. Heavenly Wood and the cat aren't here. Under a thunderous attack." "Wrong. The reason why I asked King Huai to pass the message is to let them know. Lure Heavenly Wood and the cat over together. Maybe we can kill all of them. Isn't this too difficult? Don't worry. Catching them all in one go is the best option. Then why not directly attack in the human world and attack by force? That won't do. If Fong Ping doesn't show up and hides, he'll be the biggest hidden danger. We must find Fong Ping first. We can't let him break through in secret. Fong Ping is also looking for death. If he broke through in secret, that's fine. But he actually announced that he's going to advance to the Emperor level soon. Who else will die if he doesn't? That fellow king, Huai, has a lot of tricks up his sleeve. He actually has connections with the human world. After this, why don't we? He's just a true god. There's no hurry. This kind of person is greedy for life and afraid of death. Maybe we can use him as a chess piece. The voices gradually faded. The person in the dark did not leave, but continued to watch. But the news had been passed out. They were watching Fong Yuan, who had entered the Demon Emperor catacombs, closely. Once they discovered Fong Ping, they would kill him in time. As for this side, they would keep a close eye on Heavenly Wood and the cat. P.S. There are only 2 updates today. Let's sort things out. The 3 major territories and the evil sects were clear proof. This was also Fong Ping's battle achievements and deterrence these days. When he said that he was about to become an overlord, it was also a deterrent. At the same time, it was also to buy time and peace for the humans. It was a grand idea, but when it came from Fong Ping's mouth, the cat could not feel anything. That was because when this guy said this, it felt like this guy was praising himself. Fong Ping said a few words. Soon he asked, "You sensed it?" "No." The cat said gloomily, "There must be some bad guys targeting me this time, but I didn't sense them. They must have used some treasure to block me and Big Blockhead's detection." "Right, that white-haired old man said." Fong Ping could not help but interrupt. "He's only in his 60s. Old Wu is only in his 60s. You're a cat that's tens of thousands of years old. How dare you call him an old man?" The cat could not be bothered with him. He mentioned some information that Wu Quishan told him and said, "Then I sent Lil Fatface to Magic City's catacombs. Otherwise, they'll think you're in Magic City and fight." "Nonsense!" Fong Ping growled, frowning slightly. Soon he said, "Big Cat, I'll have to trouble you. Go to Magic City's catacombs now. The other party wants to lure the snake out of its hole. I'm afraid they're well prepared. Call Tianmu." "Forget it. Tianmu can't go. Let him guard the human world. You go to Magic City and bring Fong Yuan away at the crucial moment. What about you?" "Me? If I don't show up for a long time, it will definitely arouse their suspicion. I must show up within 3 days." "Right. Old Zhang's jade piece. You can leave it at home. I'll go get it myself later." Having said that, Fong Ping thought for a while and said, "Can you summon Tengu back?" "No." The cat said gloomily. Cat Protector Captain came back to life. After he came back to life, he disappeared. He was probably called away by Big Dog. I don't know where Big Dog and the rest are now. You said they went to Sky Cemetery. Maybe they're already there. Also, Big Dog and the rest are very strong. I can't break through their origin. I can't contact them." "Is that so?" Fong Ping pondered for a moment. Soon he said, "I got it." "Right. How many people are involved this time?" "To be able to block me and Bigwood, there must be at least 2 or 3 saints." Fong Ping sighed softly. They really thought too highly of themselves. 2 or 3 saints. Maybe more than that. In order to kill these people in one hit, Tianmu needed at least 1 saint to stop them. The cat also needed a saint to stop them. He was afraid that he had also arranged for a saint to stop them. Other than that, there might be other people involved. They thought too highly of themselves. Fong Ping suppressed the throbbing in his heart and said quickly, "All right, I got it. Ask Old Wu to hurry back to Capital City. Don't let him stay in Magic City for too long. Right, leave quickly. If you're here, they might think that I'm still in Magic City. Ask Old Moo to leave too. Don't stay in Magic City for too long. Leave Magic City to them. Let them investigate. Are they in the human world?" The cat really did not notice. Fong Ping said confidently, "There must be someone following us. That's for sure. Although humans are generally united against outsiders, there will always be some with bad intentions. I knew that back then. There are billions of people. There will always be some fellows who are blinded by greed. Therefore, there must be their spies in Magic City." Fong Ping would never think too highly of people. There would be some traitors among humans too. That paragon who betrayed him that day, and the evil sect. Were these people not humans? Yes, but they still chose to betray. Fong Ping did not care. There were billions of people. It would be nonsense if all of them were united. He ended the call with the cat. Fong Ping fell into deep thought. He had to show himself. If he did not show himself, these fellows might turn the world upside down to find him. When that time came, it would be very troublesome. Not only did he have to show himself, but he had to be in the catacombs. He could not shift the battlefield to the human world. A few saints, even if Heavenly would and the cat attack, they won't be able to defeat them. Those people did not have the guts to kill the cat, but they still had the guts to kill Heavenly would. The Heavenly Hound only protected the cat. It would not include other people. Who can defeat the saints? Fong Ping's eyes flickered. Maybe I should go and ask. April 9th. It was the 6th day of Fong Ping's closed-door cultivation. It was the 2nd day of the cat's message. The House of Guardians in the North. The House of Guardians in the North was not far from Shishan. It was not far from Polaris City either. There were 4 departments and 4 houses. The 4 departments were powerful, but the 4 houses were not famous. However, martial artists all knew that the east and north houses of the 4 houses were established very early. The Guardians were the ones who pioneered neo-martial arts. The House of Guardians in the North had been established for many years and was rarely visited. This place was far away from the hustle and bustle of the world. Only when there was a great war would the people from the House of Guardians leave the mountain and fight everywhere. The North Sea Guardian, Shun Haotian, had fought many bloody battles at Imperial Sea Mountain in the past few years, narrowly escaping death each time. Previously, he had completely severed ties with Mount Luofu for the sake of humanity. Fong Ping respected this old man very much. The Shun family's head, Shun Mingwei, had taken over the House of Guardians in the North after Shun Haotian left. However, he had participated in the war previously and suffered serious injuries. These days, he had been recuperating in closed-door cultivation. Before Shun Mingwei went into closed-door cultivation, he submitted a proposal to the 4 departments to let Jiang Hao take over as the deputy guardian of the House of Guardians in the North. Now, Jiang Hao had already taken over the House of Guardians in the North. He had become the de facto person in charge of the House of Guardians in the North. After taking over the House of Guardians in the North, Jiang Hao had also established his authority a few times. He led the North garrison and killed the enemies in the catacombs, establishing his position. Although he had not reached rank 9, his prestige was not low. At this moment, in the House of Guardians in the North, the House of Guardians, Fatty Jiang watched as Jiang Hao sent off a few of his subordinates and sat down to deal with the documents. He could not help but tease him. "Pervert, you're doing things very well. If I didn't know better, I would really think that you're a normal person." Jiang Hao raised his head, glanced at him, and frowned. "If there's nothing else, go back to Star City. Why did you come to the House of Guardians for no reason? What's wrong? Now that you're an official, you don't like your brother anymore?" Jiang Chao pursed his lips and muttered, "Why don't you think about it? If it wasn't for me, would old Wang have given you a part of his heart? Look, without this heart, can you reach rank 8? You're turning against me. Your brother, may not be doing well, but I'm acquainted with a lot of people. Look, if there are benefits, can I be left out? Am I left out of you? You're the North Guardian, deputy. Fine. Deputy, if I didn't know Fong Ping and have a good relationship with him, would you have taken over the House of Guardians in the North so easily?" Jiang Chao took credit, saying, "So, half of your military merit medal now belongs to me, right?" Jiang Hao's expression darkened. "What do you want to say? Are you here to show off?" Jiang Chao chuckled. "Then I'll be straightforward. You have time? If you do, escort me to the catacombs." Jiang Hao was surprised. "You're going to the catacombs?" This fatty was so afraid of death that it was shameful. Did he dare to go to the catacombs? Logically speaking, A rank 8 powerhouse would have to go no matter what. It was impossible not to go. However, this fatty was a little special. Warlord was fighting in a blood-soaked battle. Their grandfather, Jiang Yuanhua, was also fighting in a blood-soaked battle. Jiang Hao, was also overseeing a battle. There were 4 males in a family. 3 of them were fighting and killing. Therefore, Fatty had special privileges. Everyone was disdainful, but no one said anything wrong. The Jiang family had already done enough. They could not leave no room for maneuver. For example, Zhang Tao's grandson, Zhang Peng, stayed in Sun City. No one said anything wrong. The Fong family's Fong Yuan did not go to the catacombs much either. They had some special privileges. However, their families were fighting in a blood-soaked battle. Everyone could see how much they had sacrificed. At this moment, hearing that Fatty wanted to go to the catacombs, Jiang Hao was surprised. "Why are you going to the catacombs out of nowhere?" Jiang Chao said, unhappily, "What do you mean by what?" "To kill. I want to become a rank 9-2. I want to be at the peak. That's enough. Don't talk to me about this. I know exactly what kind of person you are. If you really want to kill, do you need me to escort you? Tell me, what are you going to do?" Jiang Chao chuckled. "It's fine if you don't believe me. I'm going anyway. You have to escort me there. Grandpa isn't home now. The others are outsiders, after all. They're all busy. Other than you, I can't find anyone else. If you don't make it clear, I won't go. I have a lot of things to do now. I don't have time to fool around with you. Pervert, you've changed." Jiang Chao said resentfully, "You're already shirking responsibility for such a small matter. You better think about it. If I die in the catacombs, the Jiang family will have no descendants." Jiang Hao's expression was ugly. He stared at him without saying a word. "What are you going to do? Why are you asking these questions?" Jiang Chao wanted to say more. At this moment, Jiang Hao's expression changed slightly. A person appeared out of thin air on the spot, right behind Jiang Chao. Fong Ping retracted all of his aura and sat on the chair. In front of him, Jiang Chao was still clueless and continued talking. Jiang Hao got up and inhaled lightly. He looked at Fong Ping. Fong Ping was smiling, looking back at him. Jiang Hao nodded slightly. Jiang Chao was a little stunned. What was going on? "Minister Fong, welcome. Sorry for not going out to meet you." Jiang Chao was stunned. He turned his head hurriedly and saw Fong Ping instantly. He jumped in fright. This person was scary. Did this guy not say he was in closed-door cultivation? Why did he come to the House of Guardians in the north all of a sudden? "Fong. Minister Fong? Forget it. I'll go with Fong Ping." "Fong Ping, why are you here?" The fatty wanted to flatter him, but felt out of practice. He quickly called out Fong Ping's name and grinned. "Fong Ping, when are you going to bring me around? Are there any treasures that you can't use and want to throw away? If I don't mind, you can give them to me." Fong Ping smiled. "Are you sure?" Jiang Chao was embarrassed. He was not sure. "Why do you want to go to the catacombs?" Tell me the truth. Otherwise, I'll send you to the restricted area right now. You'll go alone." Jiang Chao's face turned purple. "Stop joking. I'm afraid of death." All right. I'll tell you the truth." "Sai, how did you hear me?" Jiang Chao said helplessly, "Isn't there someone who wants to pay me back?" Back then, Big Baldy borrowed a lot of money from me. Now, Big Baldy seems to be doing something big in the catacombs, killing a lot of people. There are some things that he can't use anymore. They're hidden somewhere. I'll go get them." Fong Ping frowned slightly. "You're in contact with Qin Fengqin?" Jiang Chao laughed dryly. "A little, but very little. Mainly that, Fong Ping, don't hit me. Speak. Jiang Chao said carefully, isn't that guy in the catacombs? He's alone. He doesn't know much about intelligence. I'm mainly in charge of logistics for him, helping him collect some intelligence and stuff. That you duo that he killed earlier. Cough, cough. Actually, I was the one who helped him collect the intelligence. He found someone and killed him. Fong Ping looked at him and frowned. What ability do you have to collect intelligence? Jiang Chao was even more embarrassed now. He said softly, didn't you ask me for intelligence back then? I know a lot. Fong Ping was speechless. He remembered now. This damn fatty had guts. He even dared to record and eavesdrop on his grandfather's conversation with Jiang. How? Jiang Chao said dryly, don't worry. I didn't actually sell any important intelligence. Baldy just wanted to find out about the recent situation and stuff. Then I'll fork out some money and have someone send the intelligence to a designated location. I don't know when Baldy will go get it either. This time, the person I sent brought back a secret report. No one else can understand it. This is the code between me and Baldy. Baldy said he hid a lot of good stuff in a certain place. He asked me to retrieve it and use some of it to pay off his debt, and the rest to exchange for things he needs. Fong Ping snorted. He stared at Jiang Chao for a while and said coldly, you better not let me know that you sold out important intelligence. Otherwise, I'll kill you even if your ancestor is a warlord. Jiang Chao said sheepishly, how could I? It's really just some unimportant intelligence. I thought about it. Isn't Baldy one of us? He's alone outside. If he meets a powerhouse and doesn't know him, won't that be troublesome? Right? That's why I gave him some information. Even I know about it. It's not a big secret. Fong Ping snorted again. After a while, he said, what has he been doing recently? I don't know about that. Jiang Chao scratched his head and said, he left this secret report 2 days ago. He did mention something. Yes, he said he's traveling around. This Baldy has nothing better to do, so he's very gossipy. He said he met a man who lost a fight with his wife a few days ago. Jiang Chao was speechless. This guy is up to no good. He asked me to keep an eye on you to see if you've been beaten up by Chun Yunxi and left home. Remember to tell him. Fong Ping rolled his eyes. Crazy. Left home. Lost a fight. This, as Fong Ping thought about it, his heart skipped a beat. Why did this sound so familiar? Who said that? Fong Ping raised his eyebrows slightly. In the next moment, his heart skipped a beat. Lost a fight, left home. Who? The cat seemed to have mentioned it once. Hongyu? Fong Ping's heart skipped a beat again. This gossip. He had heard it before. What did Qin Fengqing mean? Hongyu had revived. Fong Ping had been to the Imperial battlefield before. The space battlefield, there seemed to have disappeared. At that time, he had suspected that the man was Hongyu. Could it be that Qin Fengqing had met Hongyu and was with him now? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? He could have just said it directly. Fong Ping suppressed his thoughts and did not mention it. He frowned and said, since he left something behind, go look for Commander Guoxian and get it back. 30% is yours. Hand over the rest. Jiang Chao was gloomy. He had invested in this. He had not even gotten the thing, and he was already taking it away? Don't give me that. Fong Ping humphed. Don't look like you've been wronged. You betrayed the human race. You're a traitor. If it weren't for the Jiang family's military achievements, I would have killed you right now. Next time we have contact, pass the information you provide to the Heavenly Department for review. Without the Heavenly Department's permission, you must not leak it to the outside world. Fatty Jiang, if you dare to mess around behind my back again, no one will be able to protect you. Jiang Chao's face was bitter. He said pitifully, I really didn't betray the human race. They're all traitors, wherever. I won't be able to clear my name even if I jump into the Yellow River. My old ancestor is still at war. The old man is also fighting for his life. Why would I betray the human race? Cut the crap. Go, contact Commander. Go yourself now. Ask him to accompany you to the catacombs. Now, immediately, Jiang Chao was helpless. All right, he was unlucky this time. He had met Fong Ping. Fong Ping was the real murderer now. I'm leaving then. Fong Ping, I really didn't betray the human race. Jiang Chao still tried to explain. He said, Pervert, help me explain. I didn't do anything. I can't bear this reputation. Otherwise, I'll be beaten to death. Jiang Chao mumbled for a while and walked out slowly. Once he left, Jiang Hao said helplessly, Minister Fong, although Jiang Chao is confused, he's not stupid enough to betray the human race. I believe he won't say anything. Besides, there are some things that he doesn't know at all. I'm just giving him a heads up to prevent him from messing around. Fong Ping laughed. He did not pay much attention to this. He poured himself a cup of tea. Fong Ping smiled. Sit down and talk. Jiang Hao glanced at him, smiled back, and sat down next to him. Fong Ping picked up the teapot and poured him a cup of tea. Jiang Hao glanced at it, but did not say anything. Fong Ping picked up the teacup and took a sip. He thought for a while before saying, Jiang Hao, you and I fought side by side in the Imperial battleground. Although I don't think it's appropriate for you to kill the catacombs' powerhouses, I still see you as a hero of the human race. Jiang Hao said softly, I was forced by the situation. I had no choice. You were also one of the few who stood on my side in Star Town. Even when the Yang family was hostile to me, you stood up for me and spoke up for me. Fatty Jiang and I are also good friends. He says you're a pervert, but in reality, he admires you very much as an elder brother. Jiang Hao bowed slightly. Minister Fong, you're too kind. You're welcome. Fong Ping smiled. You're also one of the most outstanding youngsters of the current generation. I won't mention old Wang and the rest. Among the youngsters below the age of 30, how many people are stronger than you in the entire human race? Qin Fengqing, that fellow has too many unexpected factors. As for you and I, rank 9 is probably only a few days away. If I say that you're the strongest among the younger generation of humans, no one will doubt it, right? I don't deserve it. With Minister Fong around, who dares to call themselves number 1? I don't count because I'm too strong. I can't compare to the youngsters. Jiang Hao could not help but laugh. Fong Ping sighed. The strongest? Tell me, if it weren't for me, old Wang, and the rest, wouldn't you be shouldering the heavy responsibility of humanity now that you're from Star Town? If Star Town has no objections, then the other Holy Lands probably have no objections. As for the government, if Star Town's powerhouses are willing to step forward to shoulder the responsibility, I don't think anyone will have any objections, right? Jiang Hao was speechless. Fong Ping suddenly laughed. Do you want to walk the path of invincibility? The path of an emperor. The true path of an emperor. Maybe it's not just the emperor. The human race is the root of all things. I think the path of an emperor is actually the only true path of an emperor in the 3 realms. Were the catacombs martial artists human? Yes, at least they were back then. Beginner martial artists, ancient martial artists, ultimate powerhouses, the 9 sovereigns, and 4 emperors. Were they human? Yes, they were back then too. Therefore, Fong Ping felt that the path of an emperor was the only path in the 3 realms that could truly be called the path of an emperor. Jiang Hao exhaled softly. His voice was calm. Minister Fong, please speak frankly. Fong Ping looked at him in silence. There were some things that he did not want to say, but right now he needed help. He needed help. Chapter 1148. Someone wants to kill me. Fang Ping said. Jiang Hao said nothing. If I die, although I admit that I'm afraid of death, if I really die, can the human race still maintain the current situation? Although my combat strength is not as good as an emperor or a saint, Fang Ping, am the benchmark of neo-martial arts, a stimulant for humanity. Fang Ping looked at him. If I die and the new king of man takes over, can they really walk the strongest emperor path? When that time comes, the people's hearts will be gone. Is it still possible? Is there hope? Or, Fang Ping said softly, when that time comes, someone will come out and save the day. Many people think that if I die, old Zhang dies, they will stand up and save the day. When that time comes, they can still win the people's hearts and walk the emperor path again. The human race will still be in their pocket. Fang Ping sneered. Can they really? Do they really think that it's enough just because they have enough combat strength? Believe it or not, my words before I die can make the entire human race reject you. Fang Ping snorted. Old Zhang is where he is today because of 30 years of conscientious and selfless contributions. Fang Ping, am where I am today because I fought hundreds of battles and never lost. Today, how many high-ranked powerhouses have benefited from me? You want to replace us? Save the day? What a joke. You watch us die. You have combat strength, but you don't show it. Do you really think others are fools? You think we're your obstacles, but you don't know that with us, there will be a strong human race. It's not that easy to pick peaches. Jiang Hao was silent. After a while, he said slowly, I don't understand what Minister Fang is saying. I'm only a rank 8 martial artist. I don't have such extravagant hopes. You don't understand? Fang Ping said playfully. How about I tell you a story? I'm all ears. More than 2,000 years ago, when the 100 schools of philosophers were contending for hegemony, the sects rose to prominence. At that time, a young man rose to prominence in the world of sex, and he was seen as the hope of the world of sex. His master hoped that the young man would revitalize the sex and turn Purple Cap Mountain into the current heavenly court, unifying the 3 realms. He had high hopes for this young man. However, although the young man is strong, he is still far from those old antiques and those powerhouses who are in slumber. How long will it take to reach the peak? Emperor? Saint? Heavenly King? 1,000 years? 2,000 years? Coincidentally, a cat appeared at that time. The heavenly hound died at that time, and the cat woke up from its slumber and came out of the mountains. The golden age had arrived, but Cat went to Quokang Mountain and didn't choose the young man, who was hailed as hope. So, the young man created an opportunity. He studied ancient books, asked his elders, and learned some things, including the preferences of cats. He played to his liking and got involved with the cat. He attracted the cat's attention and gained countless benefits from the cat. He succeeded. However, he felt that it wasn't enough. He was only at the impasse realm, and the cat didn't seem to have given him all the benefits. The cat even stayed on Quechang Mountain. What did this mean? This means that in the eyes of the cat, he might be as important as the protagonist of Quechang Mountain, Zhuanzi. If that cat had truly acknowledged him, it would have left Quokang Mountain a long time ago. But the cat hasn't. Perhaps the cat feels a little confused. This cat is a little special. Perhaps it can sense something. Why are there 2 geniuses in this life? The cat didn't give away all the benefits. The young man felt that he couldn't continue wasting time. So, after he familiarized himself with the cat's personality, he created a disaster. His wife was killed. Before this, he might have been putting on an act. He and his Taoist companion were incomparably affectionate and affectionate. On the day his wife died, he came looking for the cat with a heart full of hatred and the rage of revenge. He begged the cat to become stronger. He wanted revenge. This didn't match his previous personality. He used to get along with the cat happily because he was indifferent. He didn't care about fame and fortune. If he had shown these early on, perhaps he wouldn't have been able to get along with the cat at all. Fang Ping smiled playfully. So he acted out a show that lasted for many years. In the end, he gained the cat's sympathy and told him the location of the heavenly cemetery. Jiang Hao did not speak, listening quietly. The young man went to the heavenly cemetery. I don't know what he experienced, but I know that he became stronger. After he came out of the heavenly cemetery, I don't know if he really wanted revenge or if he wanted to get rid of some people. He secretly cooperated with the evil sect and provoked the war between the North and the South, causing many people to die. Maybe he even wanted to kill Gong Juanzi and become the only one in that era, but he seemed to have failed. Fang Ping smiled. Yes, he failed. Maybe someone interfered. Maybe someone didn't get along with him. Anyway, he failed. Dormant. After that, he lay dormant for as long as 1,000 years. 1,000 years ago, he appeared again. This time, the general trend of the catacombs came. The catacombs paragon emerged one after another. A new era seemed to be starting. Someone was going to rise again. The young man. No, now he's an old monster, more than 1,000 years old. He couldn't accept it. The era that belonged to him had not ended yet. He had not become a powerhouse, had not become the only one in the 3 realms. So he started a new war. Perhaps he wanted to prove his Tao at that time. He wants to kill everyone again in the name of revenge. This time, I don't know if he succeeded or failed. There was a high probability that he failed. The young man realized that the general trend of the catacombs did not seem to be the time to prove his Tao. He calculated and plotted. In the end, he felt that maybe the general trend had not arrived yet. The celestial realm wall had not been broken. The 3 realms had not merged. It might not be a good opportunity. As an ancient person, was there still hope for him to participate in the next battle of the general trend? Not necessarily. So, that time, he made a decision. Maybe it was time to start again. Faking his death to escape might be a good idea. But faking his death still couldn't change everything. There were too many unexpected factors when he died for real. What should he do? After thinking for a long time, this person had a plan. He wanted to reincarnate, but he needed a protector. Who would protect him? Heavenly King Subduing? His master Gong Yuzi? The War King? His closest martial uncle? None of them were reliable. His previous incarnation was the most reliable. He was ready to reincarnate. He was planning. He even reached an agreement with Heavenly King Subduing, so Heavenly King Subduing brought him back to the Hall of Myriad Origins. At that time, there might be a real living demon emperor living in the Hall of Myriad Origins. He didn't reincarnate at that time. He was waiting for an opportunity, waiting for the general trend to arrive in his eyes. Until more than 20 years ago, when he felt an opportunity, he was going to reincarnate. Coincidentally, this time, someone discovered some clues. The Thunder King noticed that something was wrong. He found Heavenly King Subduing and told him that there was something strange in the Hall of Myriad Origins. The Thunder Sovereign wants to open the 3 great halls and take a look at what is inside. Fang Ping seemed to have seen it. He smiled and said, but Heavenly King Subduing told him that it was okay. It was all in his plan. But the Thunder King didn't think that his plan was right. It was unfair to some people. So the Thunder King wanted to destroy it and stop it Then Heavenly King Subduing fell out with him. Both sides had a big fight because the Thunder King didn't know his plan. Anyway, that person still reincarnated in the end. He reincarnated in Star Town among the descendants of his master's uncle. He couldn't accept calling an outsider old ancestor, but the master's uncle was a family and had a good relationship with him. Back then, his master's uncle was very close to him. The Jiang family was his family. Of course, he was too familiar with his master's uncle. He was afraid that his master's uncle would recognize him and ruin his plan. So, when his master's uncle left the mountain and lost all his memories, maybe it wasn't Heavenly King Subduing who did it. Maybe he did it himself. When he was waiting for an opportunity in Star Town, he might have been observing something. When he found out that Heavenly King Subduing's descendant had befriended a civilian martial artist, he might have sensed something. So that time, he also chose to invest. Zhang Tao was only the person paving the way for the coming golden age. Some people hope that Zhang Tao can lay a good foundation for the human race, a better, a more solid foundation. In the end, a paving man like Zhang Tao will die, because he is everyone's enemy, and everyone thinks that he is the pride of the new era. When chaos comes, who will be killed first? Zhang Tao, of course. This way, the person in the dark will have enough time to grow and face everything. Keeping a low profile is also in line with his style. At this point, Fang Ping could not help but laugh. But he didn't expect that just as he was about to make a name for himself, someone else would rise faster than him. He made a name for himself in the king battlefield. At this time, as long as he achieved rank 8 or rank 9, he would be able to enter the upper echelons of humanity. He was cruel to the catacombs, but they were enemies. He was deeply valued by some people. Even the 2 paragons who started neo-martial arts said that the Jiang family had produced an outstanding person. The younger generation of Star Town all followed this person's lead. Among the younger generation of the 6 Holy Lands, who doesn't respect this person? Even the 6 Holy Lands have acknowledged him. Does it matter whether others acknowledge him or not? He could walk on the road to greatness soon. Have those peasants seen the people he befriended? Everything he has experienced. Do those peasants have the chance to see a world like this? But how could he have known that among these peasants, a genius would suddenly appear? Jiang Hao waited for him to say this, chuckling. Minister Fang, this is the story of the Demon Emperor, right? Minister, you said it as if it was the truth. I thought you had experienced everything. Could it be that the rumors that you are the reincarnation of the Demon Emperor are true? Fang Ping laughed. Yes, I am the reincarnation of that bastard, unquestionable Jian, killing my wife, deceiving my cat, eradicating my opponents. I will stop at nothing. Am I not this kind of person? Jiang Hao gave him a deep look. Minister Fang has already said this much. Are you sure that I am the reincarnation of unquestionable Jian? Am I not? Fang Ping said lightly, when I was roaming the Origin world that day, you probably didn't expect that I could roam the Origin. The person overseeing the planet was obviously you. You probably didn't expect that someone would actually see you coincidentally. Origin, true reflection. You quickly restrained your glow, but I still recognized you. When you first appeared, why didn't you dare to go to Magic City? That time in the Emperor's tomb, Old Wong saw you. At that time, you were in the Emperor's tomb. That time in the Hall of Myriad Origins, the Demon Emperor appeared again. That time, you were also there. Fang Ping said calmly, the year you were born, the Thunder King and the Heavenly King just happened to have a falling out. When you were born, old Zhang just happened to become the minister not long ago. You thought that there would be peace for a few years. You also use a sword, and your swordsmanship is very good. Actually, Qin Fengqin didn't have many opportunities to interact with outsiders and the Demon Emperor, but this fellow has a good relationship with Fatty. They often hook up and do things together. You had many opportunities to interact with him. You were gifted and intelligent when you were young. When you were young, others felt that there was no need to work hard because there was a paragon ancestor around. But you weren't. You were always working hard. When you were in the king's battleground, everyone wanted to beat you up, but you didn't encounter any danger because all the dangers were resolved by you. What can a group of weaklings do to a powerhouse? Do you think you are me, that you can turn danger into safety every time? Guo Shengquan told me that the Hall of Myriad Origins has been under martial law for more than 20 years. Other than resurrected martial artists, almost no one else could enter. However, more than 20 years ago, the importance of the Hall of Myriad Origins in suppressing Star City was not as high as before. Some of the juniors in suppressing Star City could enter. Your father or the father of this life unintentionally talked to someone about you. He said that all these years, you don't seem to have called him father. What can these prove? Qiang Hao said softly, "These can't prove anything. I'm antisocial, and I don't like to communicate with people. There are many martial artists who use swords. In your magic martial arts strain, there are too many powerhouses who use swords. What can this prove?" Fang Ping grinned. "Is that so? These can't prove anything. Then do you know that I can't simulate your aura? Is it strange?" Fang Ping said playfully, "Isn't it strange? It's very strange, isn't it? Not only that, do you still remember the last time we went to the Emperor's tomb? I helped everyone conceal their auras. You know, I have to pay a price for doing this. That's why that time, someone suddenly said that he wanted to go in with Guardian Wu to attract everyone's attention. Someone didn't want me to help him conceal his aura." Qiang Hao said in a low voice, "That time, you wanted to sneak in secretly. Other than you, I was the strongest among the young people. Was it wrong for me to help you guys attract attention? As for not being able to simulate my aura, are you sure you can simulate anyone?" Fang Ping laughed. "Of course not. Those who are stronger than me can't." Fang Ping laughed. "If they're completely reincarnated, then that's fine. They might not be as strong as me, but if their real bodies are still around, then they're too powerful. How can I simulate them?" Qiang Hao was silent. Fang Ping sighed. "There are too many flaws. I just don't want to say it. That time in the Emperor's tomb, I already guessed that the Demon Emperor is among us. Do you really think that the Heavenly King is omnipotent, that he can just project his projection here? That time, you must have been nearby. That time, the strongest powerhouses who went were Old Zhang and Warlord. As for the others, I tried to simulate their auras, and they all succeeded. Warlord and Old Zhang. I actually suspected Warlord for a while. Pretending to be the Demon Emperor's martial uncle is actually quite reliable." Fang Ping laughed. "You know Warlord very well. The possibility of exposing yourself by pretending to be him is actually not high. But Warlord has seen Song Mao many times. Also, the last time Warlord shattered his Tao. After that, I felt that Warlord can't be the Demon Emperor. Not only that," Fang Ping continued, "I once received a piece of information from Taoist Feng Yun about the powerhouses of the three realms, about the Demon Emperor dynasty, about the Pope." Fang Ping said lightly, "Who is the Pope afraid of? In the past, I thought he was afraid of Old Zhang, afraid of Li Zhan, afraid of Nan Yunyue, but later I understood. That's not the case. Heavenly King Garrison and the others have always been guarding Imperial Sea Mountain. Is there anyone on Earth who is worthy of that person's fear?" Fang Ping raised his eyebrows. The Pope has always been very vigilant. He rarely dares to step into Sino Nation's territory because he has suffered losses. Rumor has it that when Heavenly King Garrison and the others were not around, this fellow wanted to break into Star Town to do something. Yes, he suffered a huge loss and was seriously injured. At that time, old Zhang was still not at the top. Other than Star Town, there were no other top existences in Sino Nation. But he was injured by someone. Fang Ping laughed. He is not a weakling. If he could infiltrate Earth and enter Earth under the Heavenly King Garrison's nose, how could he be a weakling? Even so, he was injured by someone and did not dare to take a step into Sino Nation for a long time. TSK, who injured him? Fang Ping grinned. According to Taoist Feng Yun's records, when he went to Star Town that time, he actually wanted to take away the Hall of Myriad Origins. The Pope. Jiang Hao laughed. Who is the Pope? Until now, there has not been a conclusion. Could it be that Minister Fang already knows? I have a clue. Fang Ping said lightly, I have said so much. Why does the Demon Emperor still deny it? Minister Fang, you misunderstand. There is no misunderstanding. Fang Ping stood up and looked outside the house. He said lightly, I just don't want to fall out with you. But now I need help. If there is no help, then don't stay in the human world anymore. I don't want everyone to think that they need to choose a new rookie king after I die. You, Jiang Hao, have achieved rank 9 instantly and are in charge of the North House of Guardians. The East House of Guardians is also a force in Star Town. Plus, you are the descendant of Battle King. I think that the chances of you, Jiang Hao, becoming the Rookie King is not small. The possibility of Old Wang and the rest is not high. It is difficult to get everyone's approval as martial artists who are resurrected on the surface. Old Wu is also in trouble. Although he is at the top, he looks like he is not strong enough. Minister Fang, you worry too much. Not at all. Fang Ping said lightly, or how about you attack me now and kill me? Minister, you must be joking. Not at all. Fang Ping turned around, looked at him, and smiled. You want to become a king? Sure. You want to take charge of the North House of Guardians? I will give you a chance. But you have to give something. If you attack me this time, I will forget about the past. So what if I treat you as Jiang Hao? I am Jiang Hao. You. Fang Ping shook his head. You are still lacking some magnanimity. If I were you, a powerhouse like you, I would be embarrassing myself if I am still stubborn at this stage. The prodigy of the era, you are worse than I thought. If you say that you are Jiang Hao, then I have no objections. But you don't even dare to admit that you are the reincarnation of a demon emperor compared to Old Wang and the rest. You are really worse. Fang Ping laughed. Brother Jiang, you disappoint me. Jiang Hao was extremely calm. The one who lives to the end will be the winner. Is that so? Fang Ping sneered. Brother Jiang, are you so sure that you will live to the end? Are you so sure that you will be the final winner of this era? Everything depends on human effort. But I see that you don't even dare to face a few saints now. Who do you think you are? Jiang Hao looked at him. You and I have never crossed paths. Fang Ping, I have no intention to be your enemy. Why do you have to force me so hard? Because you are a human now. Fang Ping said coldly, since you want to reap the benefits, then you have to contribute to the human race. Otherwise, you will not have a chance. I am a ruthless person. After I die, who cares if there is a flood? If I die, the human race will disperse. Will you? You can try. Jiang Hao sighed. Aren't you afraid that you will have one more enemy? What am I afraid of? Fang Ping laughed coldly. My enemies are everywhere in the world. It doesn't matter if you have one or not. Your true form is a heavenly king, but so what? Are you, Jiang Hao, a heavenly king? Are you a sovereign? I am not even afraid of these people. Why would I be afraid of you? Fang Ping exhaled. You are a saint. I don't ask much of you. Kill that saint, and you will be the guardian of the North. I will not reveal your identity to the public. Jiang Hao was silent. After a long time, he said slowly, if they really want to attack you, there will be more than one saint. They are not stupid. One saint will not be able to do anything to you. Old Mu, deal with one. Tsang Mao, trap one. Fang Ping laughed coldly. Also, who is the one imprisoned in Star Town? Since you have survived there for so long, you should know something, right? Before old Zhang left, he told me that I can go to him for help. Because I am the human king, I only understand now. Maybe I, the human king, need to pardon him. Jiang Hao frowned. Pardon? After a long time, he seemed to think of something and sighed. I see, but you have to understand, this is a sinner for all eternity, a sinner of the human race. If you want to pardon him, that was a sinner, a real sinner. He created the immortal source and destroyed the human race's myriad paths. From then on, the human race declined, never to return to the glory of the early martial arts period. Pardon, human king, maybe it was the human king who pardoned him. At this moment, he seemed to understand something, as if he knew why that person was unwilling to leave. If he left now, he would be a great enemy of the human race. Because of the sins of the immortal source, the hatred between the human race and him was as deep as the sea. Good plan. Jiang Hao suddenly laughed and shook his head slightly. He did not know if he was talking about the heavenly king or the God creation envoy. Fang Ping said in a low voice, You really know? Who is he? What wrong did he do? Why was he suppressed? He has been suppressed for nearly 10,000 years. Jiang Hao shook his head. After using so many years of suppression to atone for his sins, you, the current human king, pardoned him. From now on, he no longer owes the human race anything. It may not be worth it. I'm going to die. Fang Ping's eyes flickered. What's his strength? What strength? Maybe you should ask him himself. Jiang Hao shook his head. No one knows what his strength is. Emperor level? Saint? Heavenly king? Who knows? Fang Ping frowned and looked at him. What about you? You, Jiang Hao, have been hiding all these years. What's your strength? Unless you're more than 2 ranks higher than me, you can't hide from me. The strongest person in suppressing Star City was the Heavenly King. The Heavenly King knows your identity, but he won't expose you. The others don't even have an emperor level. You're a Heavenly King? How is that possible? Jiang Hao smiled and shook his head, denying this statement. Then I don't care what your strength is. You're going to deal with a saint. Are you sure you can defeat me? That's right. Fang Ping looked at him and said, You can also betray me or even join forces with others to deal with me, but you'd better think it through. Jiang Hao said nothing. After looking at Fang Ping for a while, he finally said deeply, You've broken through to emperor level? Fang Ping smiled. He did not reply and left in a flash. Jiang Hao frowned and fell into deep thought. P.S. I wish everyone a happy Dragon Boat Festival. Today is the Dragon Boat Festival. I'm going out to do something. Chapter 1149. Tsang Mao has entered 7 southern territory. Fang Ping hasn't shown up yet. Where is Fang Yuan? Should we attack now? Why don't we kill Fang Yuan first and lure Fang Ping out? No. If Fang Yuan dies, Fang Ping might not show up. He's not stupid. It's hard for him to be blinded by anger. Damn it. The longer we delay, the more likely he is to achieve emperor. Why don't we slaughter the human world and force him to show up? It's difficult. In the dark, a few voices rose and fell. Very quickly, someone said, I'm afraid King Wu and Fang Ping are both walking the path of a human king. The stronger the martial artists in the human world are, the more powerful they seem to be. Everyone, if they kill a large number of human powerhouses, will their progress be delayed? It's possible, but not necessarily. At this time, an old voice sounded. Their path is the path of the king. The stronger the human world is, the more they will be affected, and the stronger they will be. However, as long as the human world is not destroyed, the more desperate the situation is, the more power they can unleash. Then we'll destroy the human world completely. How? Someone snorted. Can the human world really be destroyed completely? Let's not talk about the humans living outside. As long as King Wu and Human King are alive, they support each other. That's the human race. Moreover, if we destroy the human world now, will the path really appear? Everyone was troubled. Someone said angrily, what should we do if we keep waiting like this? Maybe they're deliberately diverting our attention. Fang Ping might not be in 7 Southern Territory. As soon as this was said, someone said softly, it's possible. There are pros and cons to letting King Huai leak the secret. The pros are that we can alert the enemy. The cons are that they'll be prepared in advance. It doesn't matter if they're prepared in advance. Who else can Fang Ping ask for help now? The Celestial Emperor? The Spring Guardian? These two have already left. The source planet is far away. With their strength, they won't deliberately hide it. That's true. Yue, what did Yuan Gang and the others say? No movement. We'll wait and see. What's the attitude of the other emperors? We'll be happy to see it happen. What's the movement of the extreme path sect people? While in seclusion, the heaven-exterminating emperor's disciples have all perished. Even if he makes a move, the power of one person won't be able to turn the situation around. Yao Qingjun has already disappeared. I don't know if he went to the Forbidden Sea. Even if he went there, the people of the extreme path sect might not approve of him. Yao Qingjun, Wang Jinyang, Li Hansong. Keep a close eye on these 3. They have divine weapons with them. If we find an opportunity, we might be able to kill them. Be careful. Don't bite off more than you can chew. These 3 people might really be the reincarnation of the extreme Tao Heavenly Emperor. Once the extreme Tao returns at the critical moment of life and death, it will be truly dangerous. Everyone, it's best not to have any ideas about their divine artifacts. In the darkness, the group of old-timers chatted back and forth. Clearly, they knew quite a few things. After listening for a while, Saint Tian Gue said suddenly, let's wait for another day. If we still can't find Fang Ping's tracks, let the fake dynasty army approach the human realm and get people to surround and kill Snake King Wu Quishan. 6 southern regions. Let the few royal courts send more troops to surround and annihilate the MCMAU. Create a tense situation. Force the humans to summon Fang Ping out of the mountains. He was a human sovereign. If he did not come out now, how could he lead the human race? Step by step, as soon as Fang Ping reveals himself, kill him quickly. Tiangue, the Tomb of Heaven, it's all right. No matter how strong Heavenly King Zhen and King Wu were, there were naturally people to deal with them. Killing King Killer and Martial King is imperative. No one can stop it. This is the general trend. Even if the Heavenly Emperor and the Spring Guardian appear, they can't stop it. Fang Cat, try to trap it and not kill it. If you really want to kill it, Tiangue paused and said, whoever kills Fang Cat, leave and hide in the Forbidden Ocean. Wait for the Heavenly Emperors and the others to fall before coming out. Everyone was silent. It was easier said than done. It was best to trap Fang Cat and not kill it. Otherwise, it would be big trouble. What about Heavenly Wood? Kill it, Tian Gui said coldly. Heavenly Wood wants to be close to the human race and wants to rely on the human race to advance further. There are gains and losses. If there's a chance to kill it, then kill it. Everyone asked no more. On this day, the catacombs sent more troops. The various dynasties and divine sects that did not participate in the war previously sent their armies into the outer regions. For a moment, the human race was in a state of panic. A great war broke out instantly. 6 southern regions, 12 southern regions, 13 southern regions, including the 3 major regions of the eastern, western, and northern regions outside the country. War broke out one after another, the flames of war spreading. Snake King Wu Quishan entered the catacombs and guarded the 6 southern regions. The newly promoted absolute Evil Sly entered the catacombs and guarded the 12 southern regions. Li Wuji had just rushed over from the Forbidden Ocean. There was urgent news from the ocean. The South Emperor's disciple living on the Water God Island had summoned him back. The Water God Island had been occupied by a returning South Emperor's disciple a few days ago. Li Wuji had been dealing with it for the past few days. Now that he heard that the human race was in trouble, he came to help. Who knew that the South Emperor's disciple would suddenly summon him back? Li Wuji was helpless. However, the water race still lived on the Water God Island. He could not give up. Helpless, Li Wuji had no choice but to quickly return to the Water God Island, even though he had reached the outer regions of the catacombs. In the ocean, Immortal-Seeking Island. Previously, a Ling Emperor's disciple had appeared and summoned Ling Emperor's old subordinates to Immortal-Seeking Island. At this moment, in a celestial palace on the island, above him, an illusory figure appeared, the shadow of an immortal. Below, Yu Wuhua was worried. At this moment, he bowed and said, "Rainbow Butterfly Saint." A large-scale war broke out between the human world and the land realm. It has nothing to do with us. Above, an ethereal voice came, crisp and filled with vicissitudes. But the Immortal-Seeking Island had an agreement with the human world. Both sides were allies. Then, Yu Wuhua looked at the person in front of him. It was also a woman, the one who had been guarding the Immortal-Seeking Island. She said slowly, "Senior Sister Lianyu, is the agreement of the Immortal-Seeking Island invalid now?" In front, a woman turned around and looked at Yu Wuhua with a complicated expression. She said slowly, "Junior Sister Wuhua, the war between the human world and the land realm is turbulent, although Rainbow Butterfly Saint is guarding the Immortal-Seeking Island. Now that the 9 Emperors sect has appeared, the situation in the 3 realms is complicated," Yu Wuhua said in a low voice, "but the human world is where the general trend lies." Li Wuji helped the human world and quickly became a true god. Cooperating with the human world is more beneficial than harmful to us. King Wu and Human King are the pride of this generation, the peerless talents. If they do not die, the human race will not perish. The Immortal-Seeking Island originated from Ling Huang. Ling Huang loved Emperor Tsang very much, and Emperor Tsang is now in the human world. Rainbow Butterfly Saint, if Lord Ling Huang really returns to the 3 realms one day and knows that we watched the human world be destroyed and Emperor Tsang killed. Above, the woman who belonged to Ling Huang frowned slightly and said softly, "Emperor Tsang, those people dare not do anything to Emperor Tsang. However, we cannot participate in the affairs of the human world. However, the Immortal-Seeking Island needs to stand up and inform the 3 realms that to be enemies with the 3 realms is to be enemies with Ling Huang." She did not want to participate in the war between the human world and the land realm, but Emperor Tsang could not ignore it. Those who had not experienced that era would not understand how much Ling Huang loved Emperor Tsang. If one day Ling Huang really returned and knew that they did not help Ash Cat when he was in trouble, it would be a big problem. At this moment, Rainbow Butterfly Saint said slowly, "You Wu Hua, take my sacred token and go to the human world. When necessary, I will appear. Emperor Tsang cannot be hurt. As for the other matters, only I have revived in Ling Huang's bloodline. I am afraid it will be difficult for me to participate." Yu Wuhua did not say anything more. Rainbow Butterfly Saint had already promised to protect Ash Cat. At the same time, Dragon Island, where the Beast Emperor's bloodline was, above the main hall, a boorish man was guarding Dragon Island. Below, Long Xian, who was born on Dragon Island, also said softly, "Sir, the undercurrents of the human world are surging. Are we really not going to participate?" The boorish man knocked on the throne. After a while, he humphed, "Wait a little longer. Long Xian, take my sacred weapon and go to the human world. The Beast Emperor's bloodline is on good terms with Emperor Tsang. Do not let others kill Emperor Tsang by mistake. Otherwise, we will not let it go." And Ash Cat, at this moment, because of Ash Cat, the two bloodlines of Ling Huang and Beast Emperor each sent people to the human world to inform all parties. How they schemed against the human world had nothing to do with these people. They could not do anything to Ash Cat. Otherwise, the two bloodlines would not let it go no matter what. Undercurrents were surging in all parties. In the catacombs, a great war broke out again in a short period of time. The restricted area kept increasing its troops. Some peerless powerhouses also showed their traces. For a moment, the wind was howling and the human world was shaken. At this moment, Fang Ping arrived at Star Town. This time, he did not arrive at Star Town with great fanfare. A token appeared in Fang Ping's hand. His aura changed and merged with the boundary wall in the sky in an instant. The boundary wall slowly opened up a small opening. Without anyone in Star Town noticing, Fang Ping entered Star Town. Back then, Star Town's 13 old ancestors, Chen Yaozu, who later achieved Dao, had a total of 14 statues erected in front of the council hall. At this moment, however, there were only 9 statues left. The Lu family, Su family, Zhou family, and Yang family's old ancestors had already fallen. Today, however, there was one less. Fang Ping glanced at it, his expression sorrowful. Someone had died. Another desperate realm had died. Out of the 14 peerless powerhouses in Star Town, 5 had already died. This time, the one who died was the Jiang family's old ancestor. Fang Ping stood in front of the council hall. Even if there were pedestrians passing by, they could not see him. The Jiang family's old ancestor had died in battle. Fang Ping had not received the news yet. He had probably died in battle within these few days. These few days, he had been in closed-door cultivation and had not paid attention to these things. Another one has died. Fang Ping felt indignant and indignant. It was not that no one from the 6 holy lands had died in battle these days. On the contrary, since entering the Sky Cemetery until now, including the Jiang family's old ancestor, a total of 5 people had died in battle. Before this, 16 peerless powerhouses had died in battle. 21 people. In just a few months, 21 human peerless powerhouses had died in battle. There were 40 people who entered the fake Sky Cemetery. Are there only 35 people left today? Fang Ping looked sorrowful. There were only 35 left. Meanwhile, in the human world, only Wu Quishan was born in this period of time. Fang Ping knew that the humans had killed many true gods. Previously, just the true gods of the evil sects alone had died. He also had some understanding of this in the evil sections. There should be people dying in other parties. However, No matter how many others died, the human peerless powerhouses would not come back to life. The agreement of 10 peerless powerhouses to assist in battle half a year later. Will there be any? Fong Ping did not know. Now, the human world was facing a crisis once again. Half a year later, would there really be 10 peerless powerhouses who could enter the fake sky cemetery to assist in battle? Also, could King Wu and the others hold on for a few more months? Fong Ping sighed softly in his heart and did not think too much about it. In the next moment, his figure flickered and floated into the eyes of the Heavenly King's statue. Eh? A soft sound of surprise was heard. The white-haired God creation envoy put down the book in his hand and looked at Fong Ping, who had appeared out of thin air with a surprised expression. Someone was coming. No, Aura? Fong Ping. The God creation envoy suddenly thought of someone and asked. He had never seen Fong Ping before, but he had discussed this person with the Heavenly King. Fong Ping was also looking at this person. As he looked, he smiled and said, "Greetings, Senior." The person in front of him had white hair and was slovenly. At this moment, he was locked up by iron chains. The chains ran through all directions, and no one knew where they ended. This was the sinner that the Heavenly King was suppressing. Junior Fong Ping, presumptuous to visit. Humph! The God creation envoy suddenly sneered and said, "Presumptuous or not, this is a cage. I am a prisoner, and you people can come as you please. Is this considered a visit?" After saying that, he sneered and said, "You're in trouble, and you want my help? Do you think it's possible to suppress me for 8,000 years? Scram! Get lost now, or else this old man's temper will come, and I'll swallow you in one gulp." Fong Ping frowned slightly, but quickly recovered his smile, and said, "Senior, why are you so irritable?" Irritable? The God creation envoy sneered and said, "That's because you haven't seen this old man's more irritable appearance." Fong Ping sighed softly and did not say much. He sized up the small world and then looked at the books beside the God creation envoy. There were all kinds of books. Not only that, Fong Ping also saw a computer, a laptop. Of course, there was definitely no internet. Fong Ping laughed. It was a little interesting. The Heavenly King had imprisoned the other party, but it seemed that he had also allowed the other party to understand the outside world. In the past 8,000 years, this person had probably not been isolated from the world. Fong Ping took a few steps, but did not approach the old man. Instead, he walked to the side, squatted down, and picked up the iron chain that locked the other party. After looking at it for a while, Fong Ping asked in surprise, "What material is this made of?" "I don't know." Fong Ping chuckled and said, "Then forget it." As he said that, Fong Ping asked again, "Senior, have you seen the Martial King?" "No," Fong Ping said in surprise. "No? It can't be. Before the Martial King left, he told me that if there's anything, I can look for Senior." The God creation envoy thought for a moment and sneered, "He doesn't dare to come." Fong Ping pondered for a moment and roughly understood. Old Zhang probably knew something too. The so-called not daring to come was probably because he was conflicted about whether to let this person go or not. Human King, could he pardon this person? Fong Ping was actually just guessing. However, before old Zhang left, he told him that if there was any trouble, he could look for this person. His tone was still very complicated. He probably didn't come because he was worried that he wouldn't be able to control himself and let this person go. This person was guilty, a great sin. Old Zhang was a human king, but he did not dare to forgive this person on behalf of the human race. It could be seen that this person was indeed guilty towards the human race. "May I ask for Senior's name?" "Nameless." Fong Ping smiled and said, "Is that so? Not long ago, there was a nameless mountain in the Bitter Sea. On the nameless mountain, there was a nameless emperor who replied the same as Senior. In the end, what did Senior guess? The corner of the god creation envoy's mouth twitched. Dead. Fong Ping smiled and said, he died so miserably. Moon Spirit appeared and killed the other party. He was also the first emperor to die in battle that day. His strength was really trash. Senior, are you from the same sect as him? The god creation envoy snorted. He was a little unhappy. You're the one from the same sect as him. How could I be compared to an emperor? What is Senior's strength? Guess. Fong Ping smiled again and said, I won't guess. Senior said it yourself. Let's put it this way. If Senior doesn't have the strength of a top-notch saint or a heavenly king, then just die of old age here. Emperors are all trash. They're useless. I don't need them. If there is no corresponding value, then I don't need to pay any price. This kind of trash will die in vain. Senior, are you an emperor? If so, then just say it. I'll leave immediately. I don't like to waste too much time with trash. The god creation envoy's eyes were unfriendly as he said indifferently, an emperor is trash. Even in ancient times, emperors were the overlords of the three realms. Fong Ping smiled and said, is that so? That means the ancient times aren't much either. An emperor can also be an overlord. That ancient time is really bad. What a sharp tongue. Fong Ping chuckled and said, that's not it. You guys have lived for so long and are only emperors. Shouldn't I look down on you guys? Look at me. Look at Old Zhang. Look at Commander Li. Look at Southern Chief, Vice Chancellor Wu. Really, I don't want to look down on you guys, but you guys have lived to this point and are still emperors. Shouldn't I look down on you guys? Don't say that the general trend is now. Back then, the three realms were in turmoil. Other people had proven their Emperor Dao and proven their extreme Dao. If you guys can't do this, then you're losers and trash. You don't even allow us descendants to comment. The corner of the god creation envoy's mouth twitched again. What you said makes sense. So what? Losers? If you're really invincible, why do you need to beg me? Fong Ping smiled and said, wrong, it's not a request. It's a cooperation. Everyone has their needs. Senior, it's been so many years and you're still here. Is there no way to go out? Or do you need an opportunity before you're willing to go out? And do I need to give this opportunity to Senior? Senior, get straight to the point. Don't play dumb. Are you willing to go out? Are you willing to cooperate? Are you willing to contribute to humanity? If you're willing, let's have a good talk. If you're not willing, then I'm not interested in chatting with an old fellow. You can continue to stay here. I'll see when you die of old age. Bastard. The god creation envoy's eyes were ice cold. The cold light covered the entire small world. You're not afraid of death. Do you think that just because I'm trapped here, I can't attack you? You overestimate yourself. Fong Ping smiled and said, it's fine. This is just my avatar. Senior, do you want to kill me? If you want to kill me, I'll just deliver myself to you. If that's not enough, I'll send some more in. As he said that, Fong Ping took a step forward and walked directly in front of the old man. He smiled and said, Senior, come kill me. This way, I won't pester you anymore. I'll leave this place and change to another place. I'm still very busy, and I don't like to cooperate with people with bad tempers. The God Creation Envoy was a little angry. He had always been the one to anger others, but today he was angered by this brat. The God Creation Envoy exhaled and said impatiently, Speak, what do you want to do? Simple. Senior, help me kill 3 heavenly kings. Get lost. The God Creation Envoy's face was livid as he scolded, Get lost immediately. Leave this place, or I'll go out and kill you right now. Fong Ping frowned. Even 3 heavenly kings can't do it? unquestionable sword said that you're extremely strong. I thought you were at least at the level of heavenly dog. I didn't expect. Damn it, this guy tricked me. The God creation envoy's face turned green. What did he mean? What did he mean by 3 heavenly kings couldn't do it? What do you think a heavenly king is? Do you really think a heavenly king is someone you can kill just because you wanna? 2. Get lost. 1. Are you leaving or not? Fong Ping frowned. Without another word, he turned around and left, cursing, "Damn unquestionable sword. You can't even kill a heavenly king, and you're telling me that you're a powerhouse? This kind of person still wants to be pardoned by the human race. Without any ability, you're so arrogant as if you're 200,000. Special pardon, that's also for talents. Old man, you'll die of old age inside." Fong Ping walked quickly. The God creation envoy wanted to say something, but stopped. He was about to curse in his heart. What did he mean? If he couldn't kill a heavenly king, then he was trash? Damn it! Even a heavenly king might not be able to kill a heavenly king, right? A heavenly king that broke through the 7th level might not be able to guarantee that he could kill a heavenly king that broke through the 6th level, right? Just because I said that I can't kill a heavenly king, you're leaving? Damn bastard. The God creation envoy cursed. Seeing that Fong Ping was about to leave, he shouted, "Stop." Fong Ping turned his head and smiled. "I knew you could definitely kill a heavenly king. All right, then just one. Senior, you can ask for anything." The God creation envoy's gaze was extremely unfriendly. "Did I say that I could kill a heavenly king? Cut the crap. I'll give you a divine weapon. Killing people is not what I'm good at." Fong Ping laughed. "Divine weapon? You mean this song?" The God-slaying saber appeared in Fong Ping's hand, and he threw it to the ground. He stepped on it a few times and spat a few mouthfuls of saliva. He said disdainfully, "Do you really treat the divine weapon as a treasure? There are dozens of them over there. Every day they beg me to give them to them, but I'm too lazy to take them. And a divine weapon? What's so great about a divine weapon?" The God creation envoy's face was pitch black, and he said angrily, "These are all half-broken divine artifacts. They are almost useless. Are they something that I can compare to? Also, you'd better keep the Western Emperor's saber well. Wipe it clean and pick it up." This bastard was insulting him. The Western Emperor's saber was also forged by him. In the end, he was looked down upon and defiled. Even if it was already broken, he could not accept it. This was humiliating him. Fong Ping despised him in his heart. F***ck your head. A divine weapon. Could he really step on it and dirty it? This old man's temper was not good. Fong Ping was also deliberately being a little arrogant and domineering to test this old man. This was a person who was being suppressed. It would be very dangerous to come into contact with him rashly and release him rashly. Once he rebelled, Fong Ping would not even know how he died. Right now, this old man did not seem to have a good temper. However, he did not have any murderous aura. He did not seem like a wicked person who had committed a heinous crime. However, one could not judge a book by its cover. It was hard to say. After thinking for a while, Fong Ping said again, "Senior, tell me your name and what crimes you have committed. Let's discuss again." "Humph. Senior, are you not going to say it now?" Fong Ping thought for a while and nodded. "All right. If you don't use it for me, then you're an enemy. If the enemy is in my hands, then I won't be able to eat or sleep in peace. I'll go find heavenly wood, unquestionable sword. Ash, come over together. I don't know if we can work together to refine you. If that doesn't work, then I'll go find those powerhouses who have revived in the 3 realms. Yes." Fong Ping's eyes lit up. "I've appeared here. There are many people who want to kill me. I'll lure them here. Seeing that Senior is here, I'll say a few words. Senior has a divine weapon and an emperor cultivation method. There might be people who know Senior. Will they join forces to kill Senior first? Fong Ping's face was overjoyed. It's not impossible. F***CK. What help do I need? I'll wait for all of you to perish together. Senior opened his mouth and said that it was a divine weapon. I don't care. There are many people who care. When the time comes, even if I don't have it, I'll throw a few at you. Then I'll have it. An emperor cultivation method. I'll ask Ash if he can forge a copy and throw it in too. This is easy. Senior, you rest well here. I have an idea. Fong Ping muttered to himself. He was overjoyed. Before he left, he had to let the God Creation envoy rest well. The God Creation envoy's face turned purple. If he really lured a group of people here, there would definitely be people who knew him. The God Creation envoy, an expert in forging divine weapons. If he said that he had a divine weapon, no one would doubt him, especially when it came to the immortal source plan. Many people knew that he was the one who led it. Maybe they would really do something to him, especially when he was still trapped. This kid, his heart was really black. In the blink of an eye, he had already set a trap for him. He even wanted to slander that he had an emperor cultivation method. Even the heavenly king was tempted, let alone others. At that time, there would be no way to reason with him. Was it rare for him, the God Creation envoy, to have an emperor cultivation method? Moreover, he really did have it. Back then, when he was forging divine weapons, in order to let him forge them, some of the emperors directly gave him cultivation methods as a labor fee. Stop right there. Senior, do you need energy to recover? I can sell some energy liquid to Senior. Of course, the price is not cheap. A divine weapon can be exchanged for some. Senior, recuperate well. This time, I'll bring about a dozen saints. Senior should be able to handle them, right? The God Creation envoy could not hold it in and scolded, "You're black-hearted, divine weapons in exchange for energy. Why don't you go rob?" Fong Ping smiled and said, "Facts and experience tell me that robbing will not make me rich. I have robbed many places, the realm lands, the outer sky, the catacombs, the overseas immortal island, the evil sect. In the end, robbing will not make a fortune, and good things are not robbed. Trading is the only way to get rich." The God Creation envoy realized that he could not communicate with this kid. This kid was much more difficult to deal with than the Demon Emperor. You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.